Hi. Jesus Christ. That wasn't a good introduction. I was trying to say hi and then my voice. See, unfortunately, I have morning voice, which it isn't the morning. It's like 12 o'clock here, but I just woke up not that long ago because I got done with a very stressful work week. But I have that morning, throaty, raspy voice, if you will. So I was trying to talk, and I knew it was going to happen. I felt it. I felt the, you know, I felt it coming. I knew it was going to happen. But I hoped it wouldn't happen. So, anyway, I'm Please Rewind, and I watch terrible YouTube reviews, so you don't have to. Yatta! Anyway, we're going to talk about Doug fucking Walker. We're going to talk about the nostalgia bitch. God, how the fuck do you even begin here? I mean, I really don't want to do this. I want you to all know this. Really, that this is a favor to you, my audience, who has stuck with me over the last few years, and you who have returned. I've been seeing a lot of comments recently like, yo, dude, I just found you, bro. Like, I lost you, and then I looked up a White Dog review and found you again. By the way, White Dog, Sam Fuller, fucking amazing. Yeah, so I've only done, I think, one video that talked about the Nostalgia Critic. It was that channel awful video I did that was supposed to be a series of like 7 videos. Maybe one day I'll do a part 2. Maybe I'll be like Colossal is crazy and I just don't have to upload them over a series of years. Uh, if anyone knows the history of my channel, alright, I was a big fan at one time of that guy with the glasses and Channel Awesome and all that stuff way back in the day. We're talking when I was young, when I was like 18 years old. It's weird to think about the internet today and this mythology, as Medicare said, that your kids are going to grow up one day and talk about the Nostalgia Critic like it's an old-timey thing that you were part of. I remember watching The Angry Video Game Nerd when I was 16 years old, 15 or 16 years old. I met James Rolfe a couple years after that, and he wasn't, James Rolfe yet. This was still in the early stages of online content creators becoming celebrities. He was still just going around to small conventions and hanging out with people, and it wasn't like it was crazy. I don't think he had more than a few 100,000 subs at the time. I don't totally remember, but when Doug Walker started, as much negative stuff as I've said about the guy, and I try to avoid talking about him because he's clearly just directed his content to be for small children, like 12-year-olds. That's why his videos do well. He's clearly like manufactured his content to visually and stylistically be entertaining to children. He's no longer attempting to follow the premise of the Nostalgia Critic or make good content anymore. He's just trying to make money. So it's kind of tough to talk about it because what are you going to say? The dude's a sellout and he makes shitty videos now. But it goes deeper than that with Doug Walker. Doug Walker is part of the whole legacy of the internet. He is really the story. He is a tragedy, a rise and fall story, if you will. I mean, this is a guy that went out with his own thing, made money at it, became successful, had to leave the platform. He left YouTube like a fucking moron because everybody who left YouTube, it's never really worked out for them. I'm not talking about Joji going on to have a fucking music career. I mean, like, these people who think that they could go start a website that's going to independently take over YouTube. That's just proven not to be the case. Anyone who didn't stick with YouTube just lost money in the long run. But Doug went off and started a website, and for a while it was successful. It's like how game trailers used to be successful. That guy with the glasses, I used to go to it all the time. I used to watch Team 4-Star stuff on there. I used to watch Todd in the Shadows on there, as I like to call him, Cuck in the Shadows. I used to watch all sorts of stuff on their music reviews. I was a fan. Yeah, the videos were low quality. For some reason, Doug never wanted to invest in a good camera. And yeah, the writing and the comedy was hammy and shitty. I mean, I've often said that I felt like Doug is a failed actor, comedian, storyteller who found a platform, and instead of sticking to the premise of what his stuff was, like, hey dude, why not just do that thing where you're cutting back and forth between you and the clips of the movie? Instead, he tried more and more to push himself into being a game show host and entertainer, writing sketches, acting, and he's just fucking horrible at it. I mean, he's not good at it. He's horrible at writing comedy sketches. He's bad at directing. He doesn't know how to direct. He's a pretty mediocre writer. I think Rob Walker probably provides most of the stuff that's genuinely interesting or watchable. And he's just become more and more pathetic as time's gone on because he's gotten older. He's gotten balder. He's gotten worse with his content. Ever since he decided to do these green screen reviews, parody of these movies, instead of just talking about films that we all loved in our childhood, he actually had a pretty clever premise, if you think about it. The premise of the Nostalgia Critic being that all these movies you grew up on loving as a kid, like the Ernest movies, or, I mean, it's countless, but one that comes to mind, like The Wizard, and I'm going to watch them as an adult and go back and look at how bad they were, and you only liked them as a kid. But still, you enjoy sort of watching them as an adult because of nostalgia. There's still part of you that feels attached because it takes you back to the feeling you had when you watched it originally. That was a brilliant premise, and it totally suited the internet at the time because everything was about retro gaming, everything was about old movies. He really knew that nostalgia was the power of the internet and all recent media, in a sense. And to Doug's credit, that was very smart, and it was cool to see a guy able to quit his job and go out and follow this path, follow this new venture onto the internet. Unfortunately, yeah, Doug just made a bunch of bad business decisions. He somehow just blew $90,000 on a shitty game show. He made one bad video after another. I mean, that's why I don't get why everyone's harping on this view in particular, because I would argue that all of his reviews have been fucking horrible now for years. I mean, I still think some of the old Nostalgia Critic videos hold up, like the Pokemon one and the Wizard one. I still think those are entertaining. But man, by the point that he got to making, like, To Boldly Flee, a 4-hour fucking movie with Spoonie and Lindsay Ellis and all that, I mean, it's very telling that other YouTubers from his group have gone on to be more successful than him. Lindsay Ellis is more successful than Doug Walker at this point. The people who worked with him, and it's hard to even associate yourself with them anymore. I mean, I think it'd be fucking embarrassing. I don't know why Chris Stuckman was even doing videos with him. So, hey, you know what? As awful as Spoonie is, that guy made some of the best content on the internet. I still think Spoonie's stuff is fucking amazing. But Doug Walker, it was, maybe I got older. Maybe I got older and the stuff that I liked about those videos didn't stick with me anymore. But I don't believe that's true. Because I think when he ended the Nostalgia Critic at episode 200 with the Star Trek The Next Generation reference, you know, I should have done this a long time ago. You were always welcome. I thought that was pretty on point. I also think that when he came back and did the Pearl Harbor review where he played Michael Bay, the part where he's going up the stairs as Michael Bay, and he's like the Prince of Schlock, I think is what it was. That really wasn't that bad. It was just after that it's when he started to bring in, like, the supporting characters and these just horrible actors. Even their Toonami review recently, where they're all sitting around trying to talk about Toonami shows. I think this might have been a year or two ago. I just occasionally watch a Nostalgia Critic hoping that I'm going to enjoy it, or maybe there's a meme in there. But no, it was just fucking awful. It was just fucking awful. PR fans seem to have turned on Linkara in recent years. Power Rangers fans? Yeah, when I hear PR fans, I like to think Please Rewind. So please don't refer to PR as Power Rangers fans, you fuck. Thank you for watching. Hamster Meister 1999. God damn, that's a good name. Holy shit. Put that in my coffee and shove it up my ass. Delicious. Anyway. It's not worth going into the history of it. The end point, though, is basically, this was leading up. Oh, the dub, obviously. The dub to Yu Hakusho. Are you kidding me? Legendary. Fucking legendary. This was going to happen eventually. I thought the channel awesome backlash was going to be it, the change the channel hashtag. But somehow Doug recovered from that. All the controversy, all the bullshit, he somehow just bounced back from that. It didn't matter. It ultimately didn't matter. His videos still get views. I don't think they've quite been getting the reviews they used to, but he still has a popular channel and all that. But I knew the big backlash was coming. I knew there was going to be a point that he was going to do a video so fucking horrible, and this isn't like when To Boldly Flee came out. It's a different era. You're not going to have to go on Reddit or 4chan and read about, like, he thinks he's the next Spielberg. He thinks he's a genius, even though he doesn't understand basic lighting and shot composition. Cinema Snob's fine. makes fine content. But he's been on Double Toasted a little bit too. Like, the cinema snob is now on Double Toasted. That's great. But the that sounded a little bit more too like George Takei. Hi, I'm George Takei. Welcome to Cinema Fact. This movie had a wonderful shaft. I knew this was gonna happen eventually. I knew eventually everybody was gonna jump on a bandwagon to be like, fuck this content. So here's my throw out to iDubbbz's next content cop. Doug fucking Walker. Content cop, nostalgia critic. Wouldn't that be fucking beautiful? iDubbbz just going through the whole history like Medicare did, but at the end he gets to talk about where Doug Walker is now, and like, we need to fucking... Because this is the turn of the tide. Doug hasn't been cool for a while, but now he's getting shit on by Anthony Fantana, Ralph the Movie Maker. All these guys who are opportunistic to a point when they decide to talk about things, but they're all shitting on this guy. So we're finally at a point, it's beautiful, that I think we might be able to actually get Doug to fucking stop. To stop and reflect a little bit. I hope he looks into the mirror and just stops doing what he's doing. So we're going to react today. Like I said, I'm doing this for you because I don't want to watch this. I've just watched clips from this. I've just watched other videos on this. I don't want to fucking watch this. Like, at all. It looks fucking awful. I mean, I don't know what to do. This is just, I knew that you guys, see, Cordery and me have not been able to schedule the second Please Rewind live. He is going to be the guest. I've been trying to get a hold of Mahler. Mahler and me have had little conversations in the past. I don't know. I saw Aiden Paladin was on EFAP, so she continues to get to collaborate with YouTubers I would like to collaborate with. She's like my nemesis. It's like a Philip Seymour Hoffman, Jack Black gunning for the same role situation. So to get into this, I just have to say, this isn't a bandwagon thing. It's just, I don't want to do this, but I feel like if I couldn't get Cordery on, even though that will happen eventually, the only thing I could do is I have to find a premise to make Please Rewind Live, not just me talking. There has to actually be some sort of structure. And I didn't want to do a video on this because this would take too much goddamn editing, too much fucking work, and I just don't want to do all that shit. Just go watch my Tom Cruise video if you want something that took a little bit of work. I'm just going to watch it here with you guys. I'm going to suffer through it for you guys. And, we'll just go through it. Like, fuck it. We'll just go through Nostalgia Critic's The Wall review, which has been widely considered the worst review in YouTube history. And I guess it was inevitable that Doug Walker was going to do this. I mean, it just makes sense. It's like my whole life's been building towards this moment. This has been, what, 12 years in the making? I mean, holy shit, this is like the most anticipated piece of shit in a long time. This is the Force Awakens of YouTube reviews. Alright. Let's do it. Let's jump the fuck in. Before I go into this, let me have some thoughts on this. The Wall is one of my favorite albums of all time. Probably in my top 20. I saw Roger Waters live in concert a couple of years ago. He performed. It was a great concert. It was a little cringy. He kept having this Trump stuff the whole fucking show. It was all about Trump. He even had a pig flying around the room with Trump on the side of it. All that was annoying. He was trying to make this parallel between the Wall album and Trump's The Wall. I was so stupid as a kid, I thought the Wall was referring to the Berlin Wall, though that doesn't make any sense. As time's gone on, I think I've understood that the Wall is just life, and I always thought each brick in the wall is just a piece of your life kind of either collapsing or being built up, but you're also living in these barriers of society. The Wall is an authoritarian society. It's corporations, it's politicians, it's anyone who's trying to lead you and control you, and the Wall itself is just a metaphor for all of these things. It's sort of a mess thematically, the album, but musically, sonically, it's brilliant, and conceptually, it's brilliant, and I think a lot of things that led off to, like, Marilyn Manson or stuff like that, I think a lot of it originates here, and of course David Bowie, but I've listened to the album many times under many different drugs or alcohol. I'm a big fan. The movie, on the other hand, I'm more mixed on. Alan Parker is one of my favorite directors of all time. I highly recommend his work. Midnight Express is a wonderful movie. Fame is a great underrated film today. I love Alan Parker. I think he's a very overlooked filmmaker. I think he's kind of brilliant. He's sort of a Gore Verbinski of his time. And this film visually is a masterwork. The sequence of authoritarianism, the rally, is one of the most viscerally powerful scenes I've ever seen when I first watched this movie. I know the whole band and everyone's mixed on it. It's been debated for years. Now it's considered a classic, and a lot of people think it's a masterpiece. I don't quite think so. If I had to give it a review, I'd probably say The Wall is like a 7.5 out of 10 for me. I think it's a good movie. I think it does work for the most part because of the direction, and it is just like a long music video that's really entertaining. But I don't necessarily think of it as a great film. I do think it's just a compliment to an album that really stands on its own. But it's interesting. It's sort of in the same way that Thriller is trying to complement the album. I think if The Wall had just been a series of music videos, but it's the Purple Rain scenario. You know, there's great parts to it, and then there's other parts you're like, I don't know if this necessarily works from a narrative standpoint, but it's a good movie. I certainly like it, but some of my friends think it's just like the best movie ever. Powerful though, powerful film. So I like the movie, but Doug Walker's not the guy to review this fucking movie at all. His expertise was in talking about children's films and so on. And to actually, his attempt here to turn this review, this reminds me of his Moulin Rouge review, which is actually one of his better reviews. In the Moulin Rouge review, he actually, you know, he gets them all to perform numbers from the movie, but parody versions, and it's really not that bad. It's about how he hates that movie and thinks it's overrated, then he has to come to a conclusion at the end that it's a guilty pleasure for a lot of people. And those sequences where he's like, no, he actually likes scenes in it, and he's like, I can't deny the production value. I like that review. I thought it was fun at the time. It probably doesn't hold up now. But that was just more pure. This, him actually trying to do this ambitious visual effects and narratives within narratives and comment on modern internet culture and all that stuff with this, trying to make this his masterpiece, if you will. The indulgence of this and the fact that he, you know, there's a point where you have to decide to upload something or not when you make something and you put a lot of work into it. And I think, the private website thing, that really didn't work out, did it? The Les Miserables review, it's okay. I like when Linkara talks about how Anne Hathaway's overrated in that movie, because I totally fucking agree, and I also hate that fucking movie. But I do, yeah, James talking about the, well, James is just a great reviewer. Yeah, I do love there was that point where it's like, we're leaving fucking YouTube and we're gonna go start our own websites, and all of those failed. And all of those people went back to YouTube eventually. But I can't blame them, they didn't know. You know, hindsight's 2020. Nobody really fucking knew that YouTube was going to get even bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it was going to be the new television. Nobody totally knew. They thought other websites were going to come out and do this similar thing. Yeah, I know, Tom Hooper, isn't that his name? The guy who directed The King's Speech. I have no idea why Rags defended. I don't know. Rags just says shit sometimes. This review's awful. There's nothing, I mean, like I said, I haven't watched the whole thing because it's hard to set through. But Doug is, I don't know what he was thinking with this. What I was saying is, there's sometimes you don't upload things. There's videos I've spent weeks on, like editing and writing, and I get to the point where I go to upload it and I watch the video and it's awful. There's audio issues. My points don't come across. It's horrible. A lot of my old videos are sloppy that I wish I could take down. Don't upload this, Doug. You can bite the bullet on this. I know you spent a lot of time on it. I know you had to pay a guy to... Yeah, I remember Blip. I know you had to pay a guy to, you know, do the music for this. I know you had to spend time on this, but I just don't get how you watch this and then decide to hit upload on YouTube. You don't fucking upload this thing. You don't. You just don't do it. You say, fuck it. You stick with the Pest review for a while. Which, by the way, John Leguizamo was great, and the Pest is fucking great. But you don't upload this, Doug. You don't fucking upload this, and you just tell people. You do a video and say, hey, listen, I was going to do a review of The Wall, but we made it, and we were trying to do this stuff, and it didn't work, and I've decided not to upload it, and I apologize to anyone who was excited to see this review. And that's it. That's where you end it. That's the end of the fucking thing, and you never bring it up again. Parody songs are done. Weird Al was the only time it was fresh. It's done in the world of the internet. And yeah, you need to have quality control. You have to have quality control. That's a big factor in your reputation on YouTube. Not uploading all the time sometimes is a good decision, even though you're missing out on that ad revenue and that growth. You're actually controlling the quality of your content too. Yeah, Doug is stuck in, like, I can't believe how bad his aesthetics are. I figured, a lot of early YouTubers weren't good at making stuff. James Rolfe always was sort of good at doing videos. I mean, but he had a lot more filmmaking experience when he made the Friday 13th review. But a lot of people didn't make very good videos on YouTube. It took a long time for people to figure out what the format was and how to edit these videos and what the pacing was. It took a while for everyone to understand that, like, now I think most people have just ripped off Orson Welles' F for Fake. I think most people have ripped off that essay style, or even essays before that, and they don't get credit for it because people don't know those essays exist. Most of the stuff that you see on YouTube today was done decades ago by filmmakers or documentarians. But, Plinkett changed everything. But, Doug, yeah, the fact that Doug has not gotten any better at framing a shot, at lighting a scene, at doing anything over all these years is embarrassing. He's such a fucking hack. He's what I like to call a born hack. And you could get away with that low production value and shitty quality in those early That Guy with the Glasses stuff. You could get away with it because it was a different time. But today, to make a review that's this garbage visually and this dog shit and sloppy, it's sloppy from an audio-visual standpoint. This needed way more post-production work. One of the biggest issues is not putting subtitles for the lyrics of the music. I've watched some clips from this, and I can't fucking understand the lyrics to the fucking song parodies. I don't know what the fuck they're saying half the time. It's really that bad. So, Doug, here's my advice. Take this down, look at the 26,000 dislikes, and then make a video apologizing for making this review, and that'll save your whole reputation with this. Don't have pride here. Fuck pride, as Marcellus Wallace says to Bruce Willis in Pulp Fiction when he's got the Band-Aid on the back of his neck. Pride is for dumb motherfuckers. Don't have pride. Be smart. Drop this shit. Apologize and move on, because everyone's just going to keep making fun of you. And you're done. No, Doug is the nostalgia critic. James Rolfe is the angry video game nerd. Yeah, everybody complained about Doug, and the people have worked with. He's just not good. He's just not good at it. It's not. He's decent enough at reviewing films made for children, and doing that style of cut to me making a reaction and cut back to the clip for context. He's decent at that. He's not good at anything else. He's not good with music. He always tries to do musicals with singing. He's horrible at it. He's not good at acting. He's been doing the same shtick for 20 years, it feels like, at this point. He's been doing the same shit, like, I'm inspired by Looney Tunes. And he has this idea that he's like this film buff, film aficionado, when he's really not. And that's also... Yeah, and he also just spawned a bunch of shitty people that now we have to live with on YouTube. I think he's affected the culture in a bad way, honestly. People still love James Rolfe, and everybody hates Doug Walker now, and it is this weird thing. They're like Magneto and Professor X. I don't know. Oh, he was totally mooching off James Rolfe. No question. You're 100%. That's a 100% assessment. You're absolutely correct. All right, let's fuck. Let's fuck. I don't want to do this. I'm not trying to, like, be like, no, I'm complaining, but 40 fucking minutes, Doug? You could tell he's just trying to get YouTube ad revenue. Nostalgia Critic reviews could be like 15 minutes. Instead, he drags them out to an hour long just so he can get that fucking ad revenue money. Fucking piece of shit. All right, guys, we're about to take a journey through the wall into Doug Walker's mind. And whatever you feel about the movie, whatever you feel about Pink Floyd, whatever you feel about all of this shit, that's beyond the point. This was a long fucking introduction. I've been introducing this. Let's just fucking get into it, alright? Let's just fucking get into it, man. Let's fuck. I want to fuck something. What has been seen cannot be unseen, Pat. Anyway, guys, please rewind. Advertise the channel. Get the word out there. Let's fucking advertise. Also, a dear friend of mine who's been a fan of the channel for a long time seems to think that I do not like them or that I said something in a live stream about them that was directed towards them. And I would explain the context to them as I was referring to someone else, and I could see how they got it mixed up. So if that person's listening, I just want you to know I don't have an issue with you. And I hope you keep watching the content. So I think Doug knows the ship is singing and just wants to make as much money as possible before that happens. That's probably true, but I think he knows, yeah, he's probably not going to be a YouTuber in the next 10 years. I could definitely see that. I'm going to try to keep this as small as possible so I don't get a copyright claim. I don't know with the music and all that. I feel like a copyright claim's coming. So let's just try here. All right, you guys ready? The picture's going to be small. I'm sorry. I'm just apologizing now if that's a complaint for you. Ah! It skipped ahead. Jesus Christ, that was horrifying from the beginning.
This episode brought to you by Honey, the easiest way to save money when you're shopping online.
I'll promise you guys this right now. If my channel ever gets big, like I ever get 200,000 subs or whatever, I don't want to do the sponsor bullshit. I hate when a video starts with the, like, this video brought to you by, you know, like, Squarespace. This video brought to you by our sponsor for this video. I fucking hate it. It's fucking annoying. I get you have to make your money, but I get so fucking annoyed of, like, I'm not going to do that. Listen, if I ever get big, I always said this, I don't have a Patreon because I don't feel like I'm big enough yet. If I ever get a big channel, I'm starting a Patreon. You guys have to pay for the fucking channel and the content. That fucking simple. You got to pay for it. Super chats. I'm not going to fucking do the sponsor bullshit ever. I don't want to. I think it's so fucking cringe. It's even cringe when iDubbbz does it. He's like, hey, buy these headphones. You know, it's like, fuck off, dude. I don't care. Quit trying to sell me shit. I'm over commercials. Medium screen. Alright, well, let's... Hold on. Alright, guys. I'll give you a little bit more. I'll give you a little bit more so you don't get too upset. Okay, that... Well, I also feel like it would play better. Unfortunately, because of my computer not being that new, a lot of times when I watch videos on here, they lag. Even channels I watch who use Patreon for funding also do. Yes, because YouTubers are very greedy. I'm not ripping on capitalism. I'm very pro-capitalism, and I love capitalism. And I think if you do a funny, fresh way to advertise some things, like JonTron, I agree. I'm not saying I'm against these guys. I just don't want to fucking do it. I don't want to be a fucking whore for this shit. Like, if your channel's big enough, and you make enough money, why do you need that extra fucking money from some advert? Like, I don't know. To me, it just... It's not how I view YouTube, I guess. I don't know. I want this era to be over of, like, selling stuff to get something made. I'm sort of done with that. I think that part of what's beautiful about YouTube is you can sell yourself and your own content, and the people pay for it. You don't need this shit. Sideways is an amazing movie, yes. Yeah, if somebody gives me a... I'll throw this. If somebody gives me a... Let me be a capitalist in my own way. If somebody gives me $30 right now, I will go full screen on this video. But it has to be $30. I will settle for $25. But only in that range. Like, if you want to go 27 and be an asshole, that's also fine. But otherwise, because you're all poor, which I accept, hey, this video brought to you by... I'll only sell toilet paper, too. Products that I'll use, like, wipe your ass with this toilet paper. It's fucking fantastic. Look at all the shit that this toilet paper has wiped off from between your asshole. Yours today for only 4 easy payments of $19.95. I also think Ben Shapiro kind of made it rough in my head to advertise because every 5 minutes he's trying to sell something. It's almost like his culture, his background... relates to what he's doing with that greediness. I don't know. There's something about him. Huh. That I never buy stuff after watching a commercial. By the knots. You get a lot of rental leaks in your brow. What? Hey, dude, I know you don't have the money for it, Hammermeister. I don't have a rental thing in my brow. I don't know what you're talking about. My thing shows the Red Letter Media, the Friday 13th. I don't see what you're referring to. I don't know. What is it about bed? I don't know. Anyway, honey. What the fuck is this? You can hear... That was just some really bad handheld shot. I'm assuming it was handheld. Like, Doug, you can't get a steady cam. You can't, like, it's some bad handheld shot and the sound is horrible. Like, what the fuck? That's such a bad shot. That's so amateurish. I mean, it's confusing. What was he thinking? Rockstar pondering, don't you dare fucking not. He can't actually just put fucking. Like, come on, Doug. Oh, it's one of his horrible actors. Oh my god, these angles. Oh, wow, she walked into the frame and then threw a towel over the camera that's clearly placed on the floor. I love how he's trying to build up hype with this, like there's supposed to be this anticipation. Like, here we go, motherfuckers. This is my wall review. I've done it. I've done it. The please rewind review of Rise of the Skywalker review just starts with a tampon ad. Yeah, you know, Red Letter Media doesn't sell shit on their fucking channel. You know what I mean? Like, that's one thing people don't bring up, but they don't, as far as I know, they fake sell stuff. Yeah, this is a really... See, that's a problem. Doug Walker doesn't know how to do parody, and he never has. And he continually tries to be a satirist. He continually tries to do parody, and he's just fuck... Because he's a big Weird Al fan. He likes parodies and animated stuff. I mean, that's what he's a big Animaniacs fan. He's just not very good at it. I mean, that's the biggest... That's probably the biggest issue with this whole thing, is it's generally trying to be a parody of The Wall, and he doesn't know how to do parody, so of course it ends up becoming a mess. And I'd say it'd be very difficult to parody The Wall as well. I think it was a bad decision. What the fuck?
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia
The new Slipknot.
Critic. I remember it, so you don't have to. Pink Floyd The Wall, or is it Pink Floyd's The Wall? I never know where to put the S there. Is an abstract musical that musician Roger Waters described as a separation between a rock star and his audience. But it's so much more than that, I think. When it came out in 1982, it got mixed reviews and did only okay at the box office. Many saw it as too pretentious and full of itself, saying it's way... It was just before dusk, one dark weekend evening, while on your way home. When all the critics told you Pink Floyd...
Okay, so, Corey Taylor, Corey Taylor, I don't know. This, yeah, the fucking opening shot was weird. Yeah, that transition, though. So he's doing that thing that a lot of YouTubers do where you put a, you put the video of yourself or your YouTube review or something else in a different format. You put it, like, on a television in a room, or you put it on a computer screen. This is very easy to do with just basic green screen, and any editor can do this. No, well, there's two guys in hats. The one guy is Doug, yes, on the television screen. But so I'm guessing here is what we're getting at is that the this guy is going back to his past to think about when he saw Pink Floyd's The Wall in the theater and he loves it, so he's pissed off about Nostalgia Critic's review. And that's where the narrative of this begins.
Wall was shite.
Oh my god, this green screen. This is very confusing. It looks like he's set in a real chair here, and then the rest of these chairs are fake. This is this problem I hate with Doug Walker. He really doesn't get YouTube. He doesn't get the green screen could be used for comedic purposes, like in the way iDubbbz uses it, very funny. But most of the time, it's better to just go out and shoot on location or do something. And it's not like Doug couldn't go rent a theater out. But he uses green screen in this horrible fucking, like I said, dated way, like the mid-2000s. Like, yeah, we can just do it on a green screen. Fuck it. And the shots end up just looking... I mean, this is a really bad... Yeah, we're only 2 minutes in. I might as well... I don't know what to do here.
Right. And the masses gave thanks as the movie tanked, fading into obscurity for a while.
See, I don't even know what he's saying here. Obscure tea for a while? Why is there no subtitles on the lyrics, Doug? The sound mixing on this is fucking horrible. Like, I can't fucking understand what he's saying. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I don't know what the words are, so it makes it tough to get into the parody of the song. So this is just a big... Here's the problem with this. He's not going to actually review the fucking movie and break it down and do a critique. He's going to spend most of this fucking review doing musical numbers instead of actually just talking about Pink Floyd's The Wall, going in depth. Because he said this was his most ambitious video, and he was going to put all this fucking time into it. And I thought that meant that he was actually going to talk about the movie, do a full-on video essay, break it down. Instead, it's just him doing a long, stupid fucking parody again. It's like, Doug... You're not good at this. Stop.
Ego trip had fallen,
Let's turn on the infamous YouTube subtitles, which are always fucking closed caption because they're always funny and wrong. Obscurity for a while, the odd house ego trip had fallen, then slip.
To the bargain bin for $3.93.
Oh, he took his sunglasses off, and then we cut to the guy taking his sunglasses off. Good point, Bathory. Yes, the lyrics aren't syncing up with the tempo. Yeah, it's just off. The music aspect of it's just really off. Ooh, not good. Not good. So you guys can see this, right? You know what? I'm gonna be nicer and make it a little bit bigger. Eventually, it will take up the whole screen as I get consumed by Doug Walker's video. Clever transition, Doug. God, I just hate her. Is it weird that I immediately hate this woman? I don't know her at all, but just her face, her body, everything about her, I fucking hate. I just immediately hate... I mean, I can't be this... I don't know why. I mean, I guess this is his attempt at some central framing, but there's a lack of depth of field. I don't think he understands things like Circle of Confusion and the math. Like, Doug's videos always lack depth. And it's not that film can just give you depth. You can get depth in digital. You just have to know... how to do it with your lighting and what lenses to use. This really does lack depth. This is a very flat image. That's why it looks so cheap. Is going on? What is this? I don't know what's happening. He's smashing the screen and it's a bunch of cuts and all that. It's like, okay, this is already a mess. Like, there's no coherence to this, which I guess is him trying to say the movie lacks coherence, but it has visual coherence because Alan Parker knows how to direct stuff. This, like, her just going to tap on the door, and then this narrative he's already trying to build in 3 minutes is already very, very sloppy. Like, do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like, from a visual audio standpoint, editing standpoint, this is already messy. Like, this is really ugly and disgusting. And, like, this stock footage he's using the stock footage that he didn't shoot, it looks like, from a concert. What the fuck? You know, Doug, I know you don't like to get copyright claims, so you try to avoid that so you can get all the ad revenue money you can, even though, you know, Red Letter Media still uses clips and they fight the copyright claims. You're big enough that you could actually use footage from the movie. You don't have to do this shit with images that looks like trash. Look at the resolution on this. So you're just stealing Pink Floyd's music to try and make money instead of actually doing a review? I mean, we're 3 minutes in and all he's been doing is stealing, basically. I know it's a parody, but this is just a shittier version of Pink Floyd's music. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. That's...
Been a long time since you've seen.
Oh, he's come out of the television. Ah, cocky horror picture show.
Pink Floyd's the one. Slipknots don't sour so much happens since you.
Don't sound so much Grantham since you...
Thought of it at all. Tell me when you were a fan of the band, Corey. Is this quite what you expected to see?
Why the fuck is the Corey Taylor thing? Like, this is confusing. Like, why is Corey Taylor part of this? Yeah, he really can't sing. He's been doing this for years, where he can't sing. I don't know why he wasn't thinking about that. No, this is cringy. This is so cringy. His talking voice isn't bad. He just can't sing. I don't know what he was... This has always been the issue with Doug. He always tries to sing, and it's like, dude, you can't sing. Like, you could probably be in a you know, in a choir and do something, but you can't. I don't know why you always try to hit these notes you can't hit. You're not a good singer, man. Like, why? Oh my god. This shot right here. This is nightmare fuel. This is fucking nightmare fuel right now.
If you want to find out what's
Corey Taylor, get the fuck out of there. The new Slipknot album was surprisingly decent, although the new Tool album continues to be overrated. Metacritic gave it a 105 before the album even came out. Pitchfork said it's a masterpiece. Tool.
this weird shit, you first have to figure if it's lame or legit.
This weird shit you don't have to figure out if it's lame or legit. Did you even try, man? I feel like I could come up with better lyrics than that if I was just fucking around. You know, like if I was just guessing. He's just like, well, if I can get something to rhyme, that's how I'll do it. It just has to rhyme. He doesn't actually have to, you know, do like poetry, where, you know, you have to build up to punchlines and your prose kind of have to flow into each other. It has to just be like, well, as long as it rhymes, shit and legit rhyme. What the fuck is going on? Oh my god. He's already showing the rest of his review before we get to it. It's just a visual mess. He's showing all these things. Look at this stuff. What is this? Like this, the CGI, this like... What the fuck? I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to make a really pretentious review of it to emphasize how pretentious and indulgent the movie is, and also by doing that, he's trying to make it messy and self-aware about that. So he's trying to capture the tone of watching The Wall. Now, the only thing that's really getting the tone at all is the music, which is reminding you of it. But the actual stuff he's doing in there isn't. It's kind of a deceptive trick he's trying to pull here. It's like, well, if I play the music, people will believe that I'm getting into The Wall here, but he's not smart enough to deal with something this complex. It's like Zack Snyder making Watchmen.
All right, Corey, you can use my computer to do your homework, but no looking through my desk. Got it?
I mean, are you actually going to review the movie, Doug? Because so far you've said nothing about Pink Floyd's The Wall. You're just going into another music number and a story piece. Like, where...
Good old Pink Floyd made a move.
Okay, it says Good Old Pink Floyd, but in the subtitles it says Good Old Paint Boy made a movie, which is a much better lyric. Good old Paint Boy made a movie. I might be here in 3 hours. I really don't know. Yeah, it's trippy like the movie.
Movie devoid of even the slightest bit of subtlety. The production was fancy, but way too damn angsty for a tone.
The production was fancy, away to death angsty.
To take seriously, but I found it one day behind Dad's .0 stash, hidden away.
I don't know what to say. This might be disastrous. I thought I would have more to say. I don't know what to say. This is just like... It speaks for itself. You watch it and you just see how much of a debacle this is. I really don't know what I could, like, add. We're only 5 minutes in.
My eyes still grew big.
Ah, God, we're only 5 minutes in.
I discovered I felt the same thing.
Why are these shots so flat? Like, fuck, these are flat. What lens is he using? What camera is he using? I'm so curious why this looks so bad. Like, you see how this, like, the door looks over here and all that? Everything looks really, like... Am I watching this in 720? I dare not go into 1080 on this.
Kids' emotions are blood, but they're nevertheless raw. Felt when the wall broke free.
Hey, are you gonna review the movie? Like, are we actually gonna get to a fucking movie? Yeah, this is like EFAP, isn't it? Yeah, my new band, we're Paint Boy Collective. Yeah, I guess I've just become... Yeah, fuck it, I'll be my own EFAP. I don't need Mahler.
Was a rage-driven child, like in this movie. They all
I just don't know what to say. I'm sorry, guys. This is like... I'm just watching this and I'm very uncomfortable. I'm very uncomfortable. I'm sitting here in a computer chair in my boxers and a t-shirt that I've probably been wearing for too long in my life. You know, it has holes in it and shit. And I just don't know. My hair's rough. I don't know if I was in the mood for this. I don't know if this is like not going into the right mindset for an acid trip. So it's a bad acid trip. I very tense right now. My palms are sweaty. I don't know if I can do this. I'm really having a hard time. I don't know what to say. Maybe this is just so brilliant I can't comprehend it. This is the Space Baby from 2001. Like, what the fuck? Look at the lips with the... Like, this is so bizarre. Where is he? They look like they're in, like, a back room of some, like, school or something. And I don't know what he's saying. That's another big issue. I have no idea what the fucking lyrics are right now. The sound mixing is so shitty. I don't know what the words are to the songs, and he didn't want to put subtitles up because I guess that would take too much effort. So I don't know what the context is. See, the lyrics are supposed to reinforce. I believe the review is in the lyrics to the parody songs. But if I can't understand, because he's not enunciating it well enough and it's a garbage of lyrics, I don't get the context of the review. So I'm just hearing noise and looking at images that don't make any sense. Which is not the case for Pink Floyd The Wall. You clearly get what Alan Parker's saying with the imagery, and you clearly understand the content of the music. You know, the heroin sequence with Comfortably Numb. It makes sense when you're watching it. A little pinprick, and then he screams, ah, you might feel a little sick. You see all that. The overdose when they come in. It makes sense. It has visual coherence, and it's matching the lyrics. Like a good music video would. This isn't... Nothing here is matching. The images aren't matching with what he's saying, and so it's confusing. So when you're watching it, you're trying to feel an emotion, but you can't figure out what emotion you're supposed to feel.
You see.
Oh, thank God. Yes, the music is louder than the singing. Yes, very good point. What the fuck is that? That's like the cat from Last Action Hero. What the
Corin! Pay attention. What's this? Pink Floyd. The boy fancies himself a musician. It's rabbit.
At least this part makes some sense. I'll give him that. I mean, this is still bad, but at least at this point, there's something. I understand what's going on right now, narrative-wise. Like, okay, he's getting mocked, and Pink Floyd means a lot to him, and all that. So, you know, at least there's something.
Now, what
here.
did I just say, Corey?
We don't need no education.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ, Doug. Did you even fucking try with this script? Oh, look, there's this band of horrible actors that were all failed sketch comics who couldn't perform anywhere in Chicago or New York or anything like that, so they have to settle to be little elves in this Santa Claus of motherfucking cringe that is Doug Walker's YouTube career.
Well, that's grammatically incorrect, so apparently you do need some education. School is no laughing matter.
We're all laughing. We're all being exaggerated for comedic effect because that's what comedy is to Doug Walker. So let's all move our heads around and laugh like a bunch of fucking children and be idiotic because we think that this is what's popular on the internet, even though this is the cringiest shit that everyone's moved on from years now. Like, how embarrassing is it to not only be Doug Walker, but to actually be one of his fucking, like, actors in one of his shitty videos, and you're a horrible actor in one of those videos? How fucking bad is that?
Do you know what we teach
I'm
in
getting
these walls?
fucking angry.
How to fix a car, pay your taxes, ace an interview, perform first aid, manage your insurance.
Wow, there's that old cliche that everyone's been putting up for memes over the last few years. This is like when I saw The Boys and there was that line of dialogue Huey says about, like, the vagina stronger than a dick, which has been a meme now for 10 years. It's like, I love that these people write this stuff and it's like, oh yeah, how to pay your taxes, how to fix a car, the stuff I never learned in school. Yeah, I've heard this before. Maybe write an original joke, Doug. Quit ripping off. This whole thing is a guy ripping off stuff from other people and doing it poorly. Like, if you're gonna steal, at least steal well.
Insurance, cook healthy meals, or do household repairs.
Preposterous! We pay other people to do those things. We teach important things you need to know in life, like algebra, trigonometry, physics, geology, sex ed.
Are they trying to establish that it's not important to learn trigonometry or physics or geology? Because I completely disagree if I mean, I think that you can educate yourself in that, but yeah, if you want to have a better understanding of the world and who you are, it's very important to learn math and science, and that can explain most of the things that go on in our life. Math helps us understand because the equations go to a place that the human mind can't comprehend. That's how you can get to more advanced places. Physics, you should definitely have a basic understanding of. Even working out, the way you gain muscle mass is just a manipulation of gravity with weight. That's how you create muscles. So, yes, those are important things. I don't know if Doug's acting like maybe because Doug's a fucking moron. Biology's important. Literature is important. History is important. All of those things are very important things. I mean, yeah, they could teach you more about taxes. They could teach you more about, I guess, fixing a car. But with today's world, you really don't have an excuse for that. Now, this is taking place in a different time, so that argument doesn't hold up. But I don't know. You just, like, nowadays, most of the things I want to learn, I just read a book. The library just became the internet. I watch a tutorial on the internet. I download some papers. I download some, research on the topics that I want to learn about. I'm sure Bathory's frustrated by this as a scientist. Like, yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, fuck math. Who needs math? Good afternoon, Rewinders. I like that, calling the fans Rewinders. That's fucking great. Stop learning things that aren't directly related to what you do every day. Goy. Yeah, exactly. You have to learn how to make amateur films on YouTube, not physics. You know, Doug, maybe if you had a better understanding of math and science, you would understand that there's a science to making movies. And with cameras and the technology, there actually is quite a bit of math involved, and that might actually help you be a better filmmaker. That people don't get that the technical aspects of making a movie are all pretty much based in science. the operation of a camera, the manipulation of the eye and the ear, how you move shapes and objects to create idea, like even sound, even stuff like semitones and all that stuff, audio. That's all science, most of it. And yes, having a good understanding of those things would make you a better filmmaker. I assure you, guys like David Fincher know a lot about those things when they make things. Reminds me of the people from humanities in school. Why do we have to learn anything other than what we love? Because you should have to expand your mind to broader things and things that maybe you're never going to be an expert at, but they'll help you in your everyday life understand things a little bit better. It's like being well-read. Being well-read will give you wisdom even when you're young, because you'll read these people who, it seems like they know everything. If you read like Dostoevsky or something like that, you'll be like, oh, wow, I know a little bit more about the world from wisdom, and you'll see that a lot of things that you're feeling were already felt years before you were born, and it can help give you at least an understanding of the human experience. Of course, I'm a Rob Ager. I talk about him all the time. He's my favorite video essay channel. You mean there are camera angles and lighting are part of science? Faint. I know. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's a science to making movies. There's math to making movies, and you actually have to understand those things. That's why they hire cinematographers or sound or editor. It's those people. Like, a cinematographer is a master of photography, and he understands the science of photography. A lot of it is about feeling, but that's, if you don't have the technical prowess that you have to learn, you can't be a fucking moron and shoot something like, let's say, like Goodfellas. You can't do a shot like the one where they go through the restaurant if you're a fucking idiot and you don't have a basic understanding. Yes, it is all science. That's why I don't get when people talk about that stuff. It applies to a lot of things in life. Even cooking. Cooking is time management, understanding recipes. All of that stuff takes a certain level of intelligence that education can help you with. A lot of things in life, the fundamentals start in things like math. Now, I might have a stick up my ass because I was very, very, very good at math, and I get for other people it's a struggle, and maybe it should be taught like language so people understand it a little bit better, but this knocking of math, I don't use it in my everyday life. Well, you could apply it to things in your everyday life if you were actually willing to. Cooking is chemistry, 100%. You're 100% correct. And great chefs worldwide, like Gordon Ramsay, they're very intelligent people because they understand the chemistry of it. And that's part of having a palate and understanding how to mix flavors. But that's just one example. It's like how to fix a car. It's like, well, yeah, that's a mechanic, engineering, that sort of stuff. That also is applied from. I mean, it's not like you can't. I've known complete idiots who can fix a car. I love how my chemistry teacher always told us cooking is basically the same as chemistry. Well, yeah, Plato required many years of mathematical study to be a philosophy king. Filmmaking has plenty of math in it, especially cinematography. Yes, very much so.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know why I'm harping
say
on
you don't
this.
need to learn that. Well, it shouldn't be too important, especially in the case of that kid. Do you laugh at everything? Well, anyway, continue to act like the oppressed, and me the oppressor. Rock albums seem to really eat that shit up.
Oh my god. Look at this. This is horrible. You know, the original animation of the movie looked like Heavy Metal magazine. Or Heavy Metal, the movie sort of animation. That's what it reminds me of a lot, is Heavy Metal. Which I think is similar. Or Ralph Bakshi. This is garbage. This is some like weird 3D animation on a computer. I mean, look at this. This looks like a really bad video game made by like an indie developer.
The teachers are monsters. I know it looks like they want to teach you something, but they don't. They just want to eat you.
Once again, bad green screen. Instead of just maybe going to a church or somewhere and shooting on location to get a good shot, good depth of field, you can tell that there's no depth to this background. The lighting with the young guy playing Corey Taylor and the background don't match well. That's really bad green screen lighting, so you can tell it doesn't blend in with the environment at all.
Because we're evil blood.
Very amateur. Very amateur here. I'm not acting like I make visual masterpieces or anything like that, but it's the attempt of what you're trying to do. I just put an avatar up and then use clips and edit them together to talk over them. I don't try to go out and shoot shit like this on YouTube because I think it's a waste of fucking time. Because I don't think YouTube has quality standards. But this is... Because then you end up, like, yeah, you end up showing how terrible you actually are and how hard it is to actually make good visuals to be a filmmaker and a craftsman when you try stuff like this. Which is my theory, that most YouTubers actually don't have much talent in the things they're discussing, but they understand how to articulate ideas and opinions, and that's really the strength that they have. So the visual reinforcement's almost secondary to the personality, and that's why you subscribe to the channels. You like the personalities.
We need more victimization.
There are no good teachers, not one, not even by accident.
We need more stuff to rebel.
We don't want to help you, we just want to eat your blood and suck your brains.
No, our education system's broke.
Wait, maybe it's your...
So what? This is you just trying to be like, hey, this is what they were talking about in the original movie. And I'm going, what the fuck is this, dude? Like, what the fuck? This is so weird. But he's trying to, I don't know, is he trying to use this to actually comment on the modern education system? Or is he just trying to mock, like, look how obvious the message was in Another Brick in the Wall, and how obvious it is, in the movie. So I'm gonna... Their eyeballs look like assholes. They have asshole eyes right there. You could stick your dick in that. It's a nasty, black, corrosive asshole, but...
other way around. I don't know, I got a high
Hey, asshole eyes.
school education.
Leave those asshole eyes alone.
This is pandering like hell.
Remember that one teacher who seemed
No, this is boring as hell.
cool?
I'm so fucking bored. Like, I had a shitty work week. I have a very hard job that requires a lot of thought and physical work at the same time. You have to be very physically astute, while you also have to be thinking very quickly, and there's a lot of improvisation involved with it. But this is draining me. This is like draining my heart right now of any sort of life. This is like destroying me right now, just looking at this. This is such a mess visually. This needed another edit where it's like, Duck, simplify it. He doesn't know how to do transitions, or make things flow. Is the way he's trying to use fades and backgrounds and all that stuff. I mean, this is really bad. It's like the worst PowerPoint ever made.
He wasn't! He was all part of the plan!
Where did they go to Hogwarts? Did you just get a little fucking Hogwarts? Dude, this is like 8 minutes in. This is 8 fucking minutes in. I mean, I don't know what the fuck to do, guys. Yeah, that's the thing. He's still not reviewing the movie. Like, why didn't he have Corey Taylor? Like, why didn't he have a singer come in and sing these and just like... Yeah, well, look at Red Letter Media. They're brilliant. They just sit in front of a camera and they make fun of the fact that they're not good filmmakers and that they're hacky, yet they are good at editing and so on, and they're funny. So they do intentionally crappy shots and funny edits, and they've sort of mastered it. They know trying to bring some self-importance to your internet video, your YouTube video, is a waste of time, which is one reason I really hate Fantastic Planet. Yeah, Renee Laloux. Yeah, this has become a surrealist nightmare. This is like if Salvador Dali got hit on the head and became retarded.
Who cares? All this bitching sells!
Remember that one teacher who seemed really kind and gave you candy?
Well, we got another hit in the wall.
That candy was
Another hit in the wall? So you just changed one word on the lyric, another brick to another hit? Like, dude, once again, where's the intention of these songs? Like, what is the conceit of this whole thing? It's messy. Like, your only premise just seems to be, I'm going to make the most pretentious, cringy YouTube review ever because that's how I view the movie. But the problem is you're talking about Pink Floyd's music and you're talking about a director like Alan Parker. So you just have no ground to fucking stand on. You're not good enough to be doing this. You have to at least match it or exceed it if you're going to try to do a commentary like that. You can't be fucking awful. Like, that just makes people go like, what's wrong with you? Like, let's look at some of the comments. Because I need a break. I know we're not even 10 minutes in. I need a fucking break. I did not expect to spend my day. Absolute lack of subtlety. Also him. Doesn't show any kind of understanding of basic 7th grade metaphor understanding. Well, Doug said he didn't need to learn anything in school except how to pay taxes and fix a car. You know, it's like, when that guy, the teacher says we pay other people for that, you know, you do go to a mechanic to help fix your car. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of shady mechanics, but yeah, they are an expert in that field typically, and that's why you go to get your car fixed by a mechanic. That's not, like, crazy. Also an accountant. The movie is full of itself, said while he's standing behind literal giant posters of himself. Doug Walker, slow song equals boring, pretentious, bad, dumb, dumb, stupid. Change the channel doesn't end Nostalgia Critic's career. Anthony Fantano, fine, I'll do it myself. He says it's a love letter to the album, but the whole video he calls it egotistical Oscar bait and says things he says about every movie he hates. Yeah, and how could he even call it Oscar bait? There's no way that movie... Like, I do not watch Pink Floyd The Wall, especially in the context of the early 80s, where stuff like Gandhi was winning Best Picture, and think, oh man, they thought they were going to win an Oscar with this. Like, what? There's no fucking way. This is bad even by your standards. I'm embarrassed for the people associated with you. This is just 40 minutes of Doug Walker singing badly. Where's the review? The idea of a grown adult who supposedly cares about art genuinely being bored by comfortably numb is hurting my brain. I remember this only had 2K dislikes, now it has 21. That was fast. You can't have depression with money. Alright, I gotta get another cup of coffee if I'm gonna get through this. So we're gonna take a break for right now. This is turning into EFAP. This is gonna be like 5 hours fucking long. Like, Jesus Christ. I didn't expect that. We might skip ahead at some point. I don't know if I can... I just don't know, guys. Why don't you talk amongst yourselves? I'll put some Sharkfoot music on to give you guys something to listen to. I'll be back real quick. I just need to get some coffee or something. Motherfuck. Yes, hello, officer. Yeah, my name is Pat. I live in Ohio. Yeah, I'm witnessing a rape right now. Could you please arrest this man known as Doug Walker? He is raping me right now. I'm literally not figuratively, literally being raped right now by his Pink Floyd The Wall review. Can you please do something? Thank you. Thank you. And we're back, and I have a new fresh cup of coffee for this. Let's just get right back into it. Let's try to, like, grind.
Children's songs!
Shut the fuck up!
LOL, so school sucks. Throw a damn pair of balls.
Children's songs!
Does he not know anything about Roger Waters and what he went through in school and was a rebel? Like, just hear interviews with Roger Waters. He was, like, very against his... I'm against teachers and authority figures. That's one thing that I relate to with Roger Waters, is I hate the idea of authority. School is training you to have a boss. You sit in these classrooms. They're controlling you to be... It's like a little prison for you as a kid or a teenager to manipulate you so that you can... go have a boss and have people tell you what the fuck to do. It's to strip your identity. It's like when you work at a job and they make you wear a uniform where you have to wear the shirt and the hats or whatever. Like, let's say McDonald's employees. That's military-esque. It's to strip down identity, right? And let you know that other people are going to tell you what you're supposed to do in life. They're not going to let your individualism and your expression matter. They try to hinder that. That's the problem with colleges. That's the problem, is that you're being manipulated by these professors who have other interests. They want you to have their worldview. And this is why I hate the political movements right now. This is why I hate the radical left. It's authoritarianism. And I don't like authority. And it's not like I hate cops or anything like that, but I hate when people try to hinder expression. That's what Roger Waters is getting at. He was a very expressive, creative teenager, as was Sid Barrett. And they were trying to be hindered in the school that they were going to. I mean, I think they probably went to a boarding school in the fucking UK. And he was a rebel. And this was that time of rebellion against the status quo in his youth. So he's reflecting on that as an older artist, looking back on that. I mean, the Wall being pretentious is part of the Wall. Is that you're allowed to be pretentious. I don't know. Now I'm getting into a video on the Wall, but I don't know why Doug's like, oh, school sucks. It's like, no, it's not about school sucking. It's about what school does to you. It's about what the idea of school is and what it turns into. It's not get a pair of balls. It's like, there's something fundamentally wrong with this whole system, and maybe it isn't for the betterment of society. That maybe you should trust that if people want to learn things, they're going to learn it on their own, and you can't make people learn things. So it's sort of a waste of time. I'd never agree with David Stewart even more when he explains the bullshit in education that is homework. Yeah, all of it is bullshit. Because they try to make you feel dumb or like you don't, you're not worth it or something like that. But that's really, it's all bullshit. I remember when I was in college, the professor trying to get me to buy a book that he wrote. And he wanted me to pay like $200 for it. And I remember asking him, it's like, well, dude, why don't you just give me that book for free so the money's going to go to you and you get paid $200,000 a year? One of the reasons I dropped out of college. I mean, it's that kind of bullshit. It's failed people at whatever career they have. Now, this isn't true for all professors, but they're trying to put you in the mindset of their failure so that you don't succeed because they failed. So it has to be a societal issue and not their own personal fault that they couldn't win in the competition of life. Well, it's not like you're gonna learn things more through repetition than you are just going home and doing some extra work. It's better to just keep repeating something, especially with visual and audio. At least Doug lets his employees wear crappy Spirit Halloween costumes. That's true. Yeah, it does. It teaches you to appeal to authority. That's the thing that's so powerful about the image of the kids going into the meat grind, into the grinder of meat. That's what's so powerful about that image. I mean, it is visceral. It does make sense. I didn't get to watch David's Spider-Verse, but hopefully he'll be a guest on Please Rewind Live, as I am a big fan of David Stewart, and I believe he is a fan of me as a person. We have talked before. I would love to talk to David Stewart again, and we could talk about his opinions on Spider-Verse, because I think the movie does have a lot of problems. Yeah, we're still in the school segment. He won't let this end.
It's all a part of my secret plan to make sure you're more likely to get a job when you're older.
They're such bad actors. At least this guy's trying. I'll give this guy credit. He's comedically got some chops with this face. Like, look at that. That's actually pretty. That guy's actually trying. Like, good for you, guy. This guy's horrible in every single one of the videos. Just awful.
How terrible is that?
I don't know what he said after you hated school. I did not understand what the next lyric was. Can anyone help me? What was that lyric?
Where the adults look like bad guys. Except they weren't 90s commercials, they were mini documentaries. It's all true. We really don't.
Hey Waters, leave it all what? What was that lyric? Did anyone understand that? I saw Facebook pop up. Hey Waters, leave it all. I don't understand it either. What's he saying? Brendan Schwab, that guy on Joe Rogan, that fucking hack? That big, goofy, dumb fuck? Good job on your amazing observations. Best of luck with more amazing observations. Wanders off board. Thank you, Warlord Basil. I appreciate you very much. By the way, great name. This is not for us non-English speakers. Dude, Bathory, I only speak English, and I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't understand any of these words. I did turn on the subtitles, and these are YouTube subtitles, crazy. Do you understand that they're never right? YouTube subtitles are never fucking right. Modernity sucks.
See what makes Cinnamon Toast Crunch so great.
You make me think of that, oh my god, pause. Pause, no.
Because we're old.
No, don't freeze. Don't freeze, pause. Oh god, I can't stop it. I can't fucking pause it. Jesus Christ, no. No, 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 please. Oh god, no. I'm frozen on Doug Walker's The Wall. Oh god, stop. Fuck. Please. Please fucking stop. Oh god. Why is it full screen? Why is it full screen? No! I can't. I had to just get out of the fucking browser. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Oh. Oh. Oh my god. Dude, I clicked spacebar. The whole thing got fucking frozen. Oh. I don't know what. I'm sorry, I can't. That was very tough. That was like being locked in a room. Anyway, maybe think of that 1975 song. I'd love it if we made it.
See what makes Cinnamon Toast Crunch so great.
What? An adult complaining doesn't mean much at all because we're all old? Dogzilla! This is 10 minutes, and I've already felt like I've watched 40 minutes worth of shit. In 10 fucking minutes, I've already felt like I've sit through 40 minutes. Oh, fuck you with your fucking F. Fuck your F. FFF, motherfucker. Quit clicking F. I will face fuck you. Do not click F again, I'm a dude. You're a fucking fuck. You know, this should just be this is what I should have been doing my whole YouTube career. Like when I was the Patriarchy, and I used to react to cringy leftist comedies. Man, go with the video output low. Yeah, the video out, for some reason the stream's like really lagging right now. Oh god, quit clicking F. Guys, quit it. You think I don't know? I'll keep talking until you guys quit clicking F and tell me that it's working again. What if I want to be face fucked? Well, to each their own face fuckery. If I got back to I'll fuck your face or something to that effect. Yeah. But you know why I stopped doing those reaction videos as the patriarchy? What you don't understand, Pat, is that this is a commentary for the Change the Channel controversy. Interesting. But I had to stop doing reactions because it's so hard to set through and do a full reaction to something. It's so hard to do it because it does drain you. It's working now. Thank you, Mononoke. I think this is longer than the actual song. I'm skipping this. I'm sorry, guys. I can't do this. I'm skipping to the next part. I can't sit through this shit. Oh, never mind. Never mind. It's still going. It's still going. Let's skip ahead more. What the fuck? Oh my god. What the fuck? That is the strangest shot I've ever seen in anything. Ever.
Bad?
I don't know. I don't think there's a way to not connect that.
Oh, come on. They're just
I don't think there's a way to not connect that.
saying school sucks. They're not making any connections to that. Now let's go on to the next song that talks about the horrors of World War II. Oh, crap.
See.
It's just a coincidence. Maybe. I don't know. Bye.
At least here he's actually trying to review the movie for a second. There's like a review in there for a second, like, but he's gonna leave it. Review the movie, Doug. Review it. What? What? What's going on? Oh my god, another song. Oh my god. It's just a bunch of fucking shitty songs. That's all this is. Is it just 40 minutes of shitty songs? I kept hearing that's what it was. But that's actually what it is. This is just 40 minutes of fucking horrible songs. What was he thinking? This is my favorite song from the album too, Goodbye Blue Sky. I love this song. No, Tommy Wiseau's actually entertaining. Ego. There's no way I'm not getting a copyright claim just for the music. He's just using Pink Floyd's fucking music. What the fuck, dude? Self-content. This stock footage mixed with this bad animation is so bizarre. Unless he actually got a dolly, I mean, he actually got a drone and filmed that part. Review. Doug doesn't know what he's doing. Doug is making me cringe. I hope he goes and kills himself to make us all happy. Do no no no. This is awful. I love that he's actually not like providing any visual content or anything. He's just doing a bad version of what's in the movie and having this long musical intro. Like, why not just condense the songs down to like 30, 45 second long versions, get your point across in the comedy, and then go back to a review? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this horrible, bad CG? Like, I get it, you're trying to be pretentious, but it's past that point. Now it's just unbearable. It's just unfucking watchable. This is visual vomit. What the fuck? Is World War II with monsters too silly? Is World War II with monsters too silly? At least we get some Pat singing. You can get the Wall album on YouTube. It's great. God, I'm brilliant. Yeah, who's the 16,000 likes? Who the fuck is that?
Waters, did you ever wonder why these images of slaughter made it in a film that also sings about how high school bites?
Yeah, that's kind of... Alright, Doug, I don't know why I have to explain this, but... It's not even... Okay. The Nazis, authoritarianism in school, teachers. Nazis, fascism. Do you see the parallel? That's what it is. Fucking simple. My problems. Is he gonna list his problem? Oh no, just... I don't get that, like, oh, there's pity on a flower. Other people's problems. They don't matter. I mean, I agree that Roger Waters is this indulgent fucking asshole, and always has been, but he's also a fucking brilliant composer, musician. Like I said, he has issues with the movie. He didn't really like how it turned out, so you trying to criticize him doesn't really work because he's aware of a lot of those flaws.
Anything that deep. Wars, bad things, are we supposed to be?
I don't know what he just said there. I don't understand this fucking thing. I don't know what the fuck these lyrics are.
Sure, we're all bummed up, but you're losing clout in this movie.
See, even the fucking subtitles on YouTube don't know what he's saying, so they just skipped all of them and just said, nice movie.
So long, Oscar bait song. Smoke a bong and it will feel less wrong. So long.
So long, Oscar bait song. Smoke a bong and this will feel so long? It won't feel as long. Is that what he's saying? Okay. Yeah, good advice. Hey, I'm gonna go smoke a bong so this review won't feel as long. No, Pat, Doug Walker's version of The Wall is on YouTube. I believe you. Yeah, I don't think he even understands, like... It's like he's trying... Like, he doesn't get how simple the movie is. I don't... Boomers and Fortnite players like the video. Feel less wrong. Okay. Is that what he's saying? I don't know what he's saying. Oh, the stream quality's back up. We're green again.
Is that better?
No. No, it wasn't better. It's fucking worse. It's worse, Doug. Stop it. Fucking stop it. Stop it!
I don't know what to think while watching that.
Good! That means we're brilliant. Now I'm gonna go do a slow mopey song.
Haha, so good. That means we're brilliant. That's him trying to comment on the movie. Like, I don't know what to think of that. It's like, no, actually, the stuff in the movie, that the part with Blue Sky, actually totally makes fucking sense to anybody. It's not that. I understood it when I was 15 years old. It's like, no, if we just make it pretentious and weird, that makes it great. This is Doug once again completely failing and missing the point of art, not understanding these things. And then he's like, now I'm going to go to some slow song and slow, boring song, and that makes it pretentious and not entertaining or good. It's like, and like I said, I'm not a huge fan of The Wall. Like I said, I'd give it like a 7. I don't think it's great. I think it has pacing issues, but it's not the movie he's presenting it as. He's trying way too hard to present it as this thing that isn't because he doesn't like it. And instead of actually having some valid criticism, he's doing this condescending bullshit, trying to act like, well, I can just mock it and put it off to the side and it doesn't matter. It's like, no, Doug, you're not allowed to fucking do that. I mean, you're allowed to do it. You can do it, but that doesn't mean... That's why this has so many dislikes. And he probably knew this would be divisive, but it's to a point where it's like, dude, this is pathetic. Like, this is embarrassing. You're embarrassing yourself on such a high level and making yourself look like such a fucking moron. And you're not aware of it. Like, this should have eventually become a commentary on Doug Walker himself making this video and taken on a meta aspect where it stops being about The Wall and him not being able to understand The Wall. And then himself kind of going into this level of insanity. But instead, it's like, what, are you trying to say that Roger Waters and the movie's pretentious and people just give it a pass? Okay. I mean, I think you could have said that in 10 fucking minutes. I don't think you need to make a 40-minute fucking video to get that point across. I get it, okay? You could have said that in the first 5 minutes and moved the fuck on. This just shows that you're much more indulgent, pretentious, and insane than anyone that was involved with making the movie. Everything they did, you're doing at a much higher level. Like, because this is so much worse. At least they had craft to what they were doing. And you're just stealing everything from them. That's another thing. You're just stealing everything from them. That's the worst part.
Haven't we had enough of those?
Yeah, but we have had several of them back to back, so that'll really mix things up.
No, you have had several things going back to back. It's been very annoying. Please stop. You trying to make... See, here's what he's trying to do. He's trying to make this review horrible on purpose because he's trying to show that the movie's horrible. But once again, this is so bad that that point gets lost. Because the movie actually is... This is like I remember Confused Matthew back in the day. And he actually says now he hates this review. He used to have these horrible reviews sometimes where he would talk about a film that was more allegorical or visually told and not in dialogue, and he would criticize them. And he had this review of No Country for Old Men where he just mocked those scenes where like Anton Chigurh sits in front of the television, then Tommy Lee Jones sits in front later in the glass of milk, or when he's on the payphone. These scenes that are establishing tone and mood and playing into the themes. So he uploaded this 2-hour video on his website called Purple Monkey Dishwasher, I think, that was just a guy sitting on a chair for 2.5 hours, and he argued that that's as much of a masterpiece as movies like this, like 2001. Because he's doing the same thing. Now, I think eventually, even though Confused Matthew had a breakdown and he barely makes content anymore, he was a big inspiration to me, by the way, if you can't tell by my avatar. But he just did not understand those things about filmmaking. Yet he would praise stuff like Moulin Rouge. But he did, and I don't get me wrong, I loved his Matrix and prequels reviews, but he didn't understand a lot of those things about movies, and that's why later he was like, yeah, I was really bad at that stuff. That's what this reminds me of. It's like, yeah, I get what you're trying to do, but you're doing it so poorly. You have to realize that if you actually want to make a critique and a point about that sort of thing, if you actually want to point out that these are flaws with the visuals and the type of storytelling and how people are reacting to this thing and being manipulated, they're just buying into something, the emperor has no clothes sort of thing, you have to actually present something through a visual argument that makes sense yourself. You can't just put something up there very lazily and say like, well, hey, this gets my point across, because that takes away that you actually have to have substantial arguments. And it just kind of makes you look like an asshole. That's the problem. You end up looking like a fucking asshole when you do that stuff. And it just rubs people the wrong way. Because they're no longer seeing you as a critic, they're looking at you as some asshole is trying to tell people that they're wrong for liking something, instead of you just saying how you feel about it.
Watch now how I do a sad song about being cheated on.
So, you're going from World War II, one of the worst things to ever happen,
to bitching about your girlfriend cheating on you?
Hey, it doesn't matter how I'm pained, as long as I'm torturously pained.
Sounds pretty douchey, man.
Yeah, pretty douchey.
Hey, if someone doesn't like my artistic dive into madness caused by an affair...
You mean like The Room?
No.
Yes.
Shut up. They can just skip the scene.
Yeah, fair enough.
Thank you. What's that person I could never see betraying me? You're betraying me?
This is supposed to be a storytelling beat, but at this point, everything's so confused it doesn't work. Also, yeah, maybe I should just skip the scenes.
Oh. I got a lot more drawn-out angst than that.
Hey, so you invited me up here. What you want to do?
Just watch TV.
You invited me up here to...
I don't want to be this way, but why can't Doug get any pretty girls in these reviews? I'm not trying to insult this woman, but Jesus fucking Christ. What is that? Arguably the most horrifying image in the whole thing.
Literally watch TV?
I'm a successful musician with millions. How can you expect me to be happy?
This is gonna be another one of those slow mopey songs, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh no, how can somebody who's rich and powerful be unhappy? Oh no, I hate the rich people.
I know that. Don't worry, I have a slow mopey song here too. Hey you. Oh my god, doesn't this remind you of Jesus? I'm like Jesus! I'm Jesus!
I said, goddamn. Goddamn.
Feel sorry for me, I'm Jesus!
You know, I'll give it this. This part of the review at least has something that makes sense. Like, The guy trying not to watch these it's like Doug's aware that these songs he's doing are fucking horrible, although I don't know, and it's like, no, I don't want to watch this anymore, please. This is the audience watching this video. This is us watching this video right now. It's fucking amazing. It's so self-aware at this point. It's like, I just want to turn this off. I'm Jesus! It's like, yes, Doug, that is how you see yourself. Yeah, no, nostalgic Jesus. Oh, no, I know, he keeps burning the joke, and I know that's what he's trying to do, too. Like, let me keep putting the joke in my point over and over again, because that's what the movie is. The movie keeps hammering in its ideas. It shows these visual hammers. But, it's like, yeah, but at least that there's still something entertaining about that movie. This is boring, Doug. Hey, you leave Tom Green out of this, alright? Tom Green's a genius. Oh, wow, look, like he's on a real location. See, this is what I'm talking about with depth of field, right? Look at the grass here. Look how this looks compared to the images from earlier with the green screen. You see how this looks? This is a lot better. There's depth here. Doug's involved with the background. I don't know, maybe the back here is green screen, but it looks good. This looks good. This shows that he can do shots like this. This isn't a bad shot. And this whole video would be much better if it was like this. There's so much of nothing happening in this video.
Is there anybody who cares?
I bet he was so proud of that shot. He probably thought that was, like, masterful. Oh, God.
Are you still awake in that chair?
Doug Walker has a small dick.
Just keep listening to me. I know
I have a small dick.
you're kind of bored. Yeah, sure. It's a lot of slow songs now. It's hard to keep on track.
Because my dick is small.
Mellow songs back to back.
Ah, shit! He's watching the boring parts of the wall. Wake him up!
Oh no, Cinema Snob, no.
Just a half hour more. Come on, you've gotten through worse.
You can always tell somebody can't sing. I've always wanted to do a video on that 70s Show 100th episode that's a musical where they just do these horrible covers, and Topher Grace is the only one that could sing. There was this weird trend in the 2000s where everyone did a musical episode. And the 100th episode of that 70s Show, I've always wanted to talk about it. It's these people who can't sing, singing all these songs from the 60s and 70s horribly, with these weird, stupid-ass music videos, and that's the whole episode. And every time I rewatch that 70s Show and I get to that episode, I'm like, what the fuck is this? That's what this reminds me of. The audio on his vocals are so low because he can't sing. So they're trying to mask that by making the music so loud so you're not noticing. But because of that, you can't really understand what he's saying or doing. So a lot of these moments lose their... Because if he is trying to do a parody, at least he could have been somewhat successful in the parodies of the songs and could have gotten that right. But because they did such a poor job with the production on it, any kind of message he's trying to put across here, which I think he did have an idea here, gets lost just because of the poor job he did with the sound mixing. That's really the biggest issue with this whole video, outside of everything, is that you can't fucking follow the music or listen to it, which you can in the movie. So this really makes Doug's whole criticism fall apart, because at least in that you can understand those things, and you're like, oh, I get the lyrics and the images. Here you can't. So you're just looking at these images and not really getting what the lyrics are to reinforce it. Now, not that I think the lyrics would actually be clever, but they could at least help reinforce what we're seeing here. But so far I'm just watching this stuff and I really kind of only half know what's going on, because they did such a poor job with the sound mix.
Seen as deep. Your attention constantly may fade.
When I was a child, I remember being molested. Is that what he said?
Like hearing the dark side of the moon.
What? My dick is small, so I make videos. So you don't think about my cock. Oh, this is just like Little Dick the musical.
Now I've grown, the section starts to drag like a long neck. I just don't understand. Is this now how I am? I have become comfortably dumb.
Oh, instead of numb, he said dumb. Oh my god, he's so clever. Just another small dick.
Just get through the damn flick.
Just get
You
through the
want to
damn
see-
flick. Just get through the damn flick, really. Really, that was your fucking lyric. I mean, like, let me think top of my head. Okay. This movie's making me sick. Okay. Let's get through this song quick. Okay. I'm tired of this shit. Something like that. I don't know. Like, I don't know. You could just come up with a bunch of things. I mean, this is top of my head. Like, he sat down and wrote this. He spent months on this. That's what I'm trying to get at. There was a lot of effort put into this. And this is Doug Walker trying his hardest. And this is what he came up with.
But this ain't getting your kicks. Can you listen? Later there will be a quiz. Somebody has to feel the same when I become so lame.
This is worse than I thought it was going to be. I really mean that. This is much worse. I get why everyone's shitting on it. I get why it's getting so much. Like, this is really bad. We've been doing the stream for almost 2 hours, and we're like halfway. We're not even halfway.
There is only so long
We're about
I
halfway.
can go.
Dude, fucking stop, please, dog.
Hearing a millionaire say that things blow.
This is just turning into me watching this and not talking, so I'm gonna skip ahead because I can't set through stuff. Can we get back to like a story part? Okay, actual video here. Cool. And they're in a real location. Cool. No green screen. Oh no. Oh no. He's gonna do the authoritarian rally sequence, which is the best part of the movie. Gene Siskel didn't even love this movie, and he said that scene stands out, where everyone does the X with their arms, where he says, "If I had my way, you would all be shot." And everyone up against the wall. What's scary about that scene is that it was onto something. When you think about where we're at right now, when you think about places like what's become a culture on Reddit or YouTube, with the alt-right and these movements. And, you know, I know a lot of you are going to be upset about me saying this, but there is this movement of white people, white young males especially, feeling put down by society and feeling like they need to keep their the genetic line pure. Like, if we could get rid of black people, if we could get rid of gay people, if we could get rid of Jews, if we could, and you see this stuff, you see anti-Semitism, you see all this stuff, and it's like, if we could get rid of all of them, just kill them all off, and it was just us, if it was just this race, we could be superior, we could get to another level of a world without crime, and you know, it's scary because there actually is a lot of people out there that do feel that way. And they try to use stuff like the bell curve and IQ to reinforce these arguments. And I'm not even saying that some of that stuff doesn't have validity, but you've heard these things. And so when you watch that image of like all these white people cheering in this rally, putting their arms up as X's, and this leader of this rock star, this musician, this artist, this talking head that people follow because they like their content, telling them that let's kill all these people, let's throw them up against the wall, and then we can live in the civilization that we want because we're scared of the world changing, and we're scared of different opinions and different forms of expression. It's a haunting visual moment, whether it's the right being authoritarian or it's the left being authoritarian, because they both are. It's a horrifying concept because they're also saying we do want, because then you could say on the radical left, they do want to eliminate the white race and everybody to be mixed and trans and sexuality doesn't matter and gender doesn't matter. So it goes both ways. I'm not saying it's one. I mean, Roger Waters' politics clearly lean towards being a liberal, and he's talking about, he would probably say the right wing. But it's a scary image. It's a scary image because you could see when you go to a concert, when you go to a political rally, when you go to a thing with a large group of people all agreeing on something and cheering something, and you see how they can all be manipulated and how crowds of people can get out of hand. You know, that's how you get something like Altamont. Seeing those people in that, and how Alan Parker shoots it, and when he puts the X up with his arms, which is basically a Seagal, but them all doing it together in the group in the rally, and that music comes in, you know, that you know, it's one of the most powerful images I've ever seen in a movie. The smoke coming up in the middle of the stadium they're in, and the flags hanging up with the hammers. It is the mob mentality. It shows you that you could be in a mob of people, a crowd of people that could overwhelm you and take you out because they'll be brainwashed by these ideals of somebody who is a speaking, a talking, like I said, a manipulator, somebody who's convincing people that, yeah, I have this base of proof for things, so I'm going to use that to expand on this philosophy that I want you all to agree with. It's one of the most haunting moments in all of cinema. I think it's scarier than most Nazi footage I've seen in World War II films, excluding the actual footage of, like, Triumph of the Will or something. It's some of the most haunting footage I've ever seen in a movie, and it's the standout sequence of The Wall, the film. Because it, like few movies I've ever seen, really captures that, the mob mentality and political movements. And when you think of Antifa, when you think of the fights that have happened in all of these political rallies, when you see people marching on the streets, not for a peaceful world, not protesting for rights and peace, but actually violence, when you see all that and you think about how this movie came out in the early 80s, this is more relevant today than it was when it came out. Trying to be a criticism, let's say, of Reagan or of capitalism in the 80s. This is more relevant today in the world we live in now. It's weird how ahead of its time it was. You watch that moment, you think about all these actors and directors and artists and being so involved in politics now and trying to sway politics, to even our president is a celebrity in the world we live in. And it's very on point. They were very on point with that. Maybe if they didn't even intend it to be so, that I watch that stuff and all I see is Antifa throwing bricks at people's faces and bottles and stuff like that, and yelling, thinking that they stand for something because they've been manipulated by these professors and this ideology that's telling them this way that they think is reinforced by being on the right side of history or science. Powerful stuff. And Doug is about to parody that with his bullshit, with his bald fucking head. He's about to parody one of the most brilliant depictions of authoritarianism ever presented on celluloid. That's what's so... And, you know, if Doug actually had balls, he would actually comment on the things I just talked about, the political climate we're in today, how divided the country is, how the internet has just reinforced these large movements of people. They all follow things now through Twitter, Facebook, what have you, YouTube. He could actually comment on that really cleverly here and use the song as a way to show that maybe they had a point with that, but instead he's already played all of his cards so early, and you're already so lack in investment. He actually could have used this review as a way to comment on the current state of art and where we're at as a culture by using Pink Floyd's The Wall as a base and talking about the movie, but ultimately talking about something else. But he fails to do that so far. But I must say, amazing sequence in the original film, Alan Parker. Amazing sequence. Scares the shit out of me. I didn't watch that Sardonicast. I kind of just don't watch Sardonicast anymore. It's boring as shit. So that's... I don't know.
Honestly, before I found out about Honey, seeing the promo code box at checkout stressed me out. Like, should I be typing?
Oh, of course. Let's make some money. Yeah, let me make some goddamn money in my red walls with all the shitty artwork up. Yeah, make
something
money.
in there? Is there a code? Oh! Just knowing that there could be a discount out there made me worry about overpaying every time I shopped online.
I want to kill myself.
Now I have Honey. It's a free browser extension that's a big number. Not to
How long does this ad
there's
go?
really no album, and it's really fantastic stuff. So go check it out, man.
Oh my god, did he just say his album's fantastic? Hold on, let me get this, hold on. Come on.
Hey, you guys like the music in this review? Well, believe it or not.
No, we don't. We do not like the music in this review. And you saying that right here is fucking hilarious.
There's an album of it. I'm not even kidding. This was done.
I think he thinks this is good.
By Rob Scallon, who appears in the review. He has his own YouTube channel. He's just this incredible talent, and I really think he outdid himself with this because this is just such a love letter to Pink Floyd's music and The Wall. And you can download the...
This is such a love letter to Pink Floyd's music and The Wall. What are you talking about? This is not a love letter. It's a fucking abortion to Pink Floyd and The Wall. What the fuck? This is a love letter. You son of a bitch.
The album in the link below. There's even songs and music that isn't in the review. It's only for the album, and it's really fantastic stuff. So go check it out, man.
He's selling his own fucking album. Like, this thing. He's like, dude, this is so fucking good. He thought this was fucking amazing. That just proves it, that Doug had no self-awareness. He's like, dude, go buy the album of this. It's so good. Yeah, the alt-right. Yeah, and a lot. Well, you just say it all the time, man. It's like you don't. People don't want to admit that the biggest conversation we won't have in this country is one about race, and another one is about how big of a role does the government have in our lives. And Do the Right Thing covers this, that there's a complexity to it because there is no answers. We don't have answers to these questions, and there is a rising movement of I feel young white people right now, especially with reinforcement online, that really is feeling like maybe we should preserve our race. And I mean, that is a discussion right now. And I am scared of that because I think that could lead to just more violence and a misunderstanding of people that aren't racist, but might actually have some nationalist ideas. But yeah, I don't like the radical left, but I also don't like this radical alt-right movement that's online that's become very prominent the last few years. Yeah, but Do the Right Thing has the part where he throws the dumpster through the window, right? And I saw Spike Lee. I've seen Spike Lee in person at a college, and he was asked about that scene. And what I think makes that scene so powerful is it really captures the frustration we all have about the lack of a conversation with racism. Because what is it really about? It's what is the right thing? Well, nobody really knows what the right thing is. People tell you to do the right thing, but what is the right thing? So through the frustration, he just shows it through a visual metaphor. And I think if you look at that movie in a certain way, it's a criticism of mob mentality and the frustrations. Now, he probably thinks, you know, because it comes out pre-Rodney King and the LA riots, it's weird how on point he was. But it's almost like he's saying this is a bad thing, that we make race this heated thing that we keep underneath the surface, and it's going to explode. Garbage can, my bad. Garbage can, that it's going to explode into some act of violence like this. Isn't the movie where the black guy acts like Totoro's character wants to be black? Yeah, he has a whole speech about everybody wants to be black, that everybody wants to be, because he says that he talks about how Michael Jackson and Prince has reached this level, that they're more than black, which I think is an interesting line. And then he says, no, you just see them that way because they've reached this level that you don't want to view them as black. But I don't think that line's totally untrue. If you think about it, black culture is affected everywhere we live today. People dance now based off black culture. I think the fascination with asses over boobs The way people speak today, the language has been affected, the music industry, the culture. I think there's actually a truth to that, particularly going into the 90s and now in the 2000s, the whole world has been shaped by, at least American culture has very much been shaped in a modern sense by black culture and this fetishism towards it. And I think it's very true. Just in my everyday life, you see it. People talk differently. I really like Do the Right Thing. I mean, if you guys don't like it, that's cool. I love that movie. I think the stuff with Danny Aiello at Sal's Pizza's place is, like, brilliant. And I also really like Malcolm X. Yeah, no shit. Exactly. It's kind of obvious. When people try to argue that, they're like, can you believe Spike Lee said that? It's like, yeah, I can, because it's true. There's this fascination and this wanting, because for some reason society's made it that the black men are better lovers, or that they understand rhythm, but they're better dancers, they're better at it's this weird thing. Instead of looking at everyone as equal, that we're all people, instead it's like they try to make these dividing lines, which is very uncomfortable for me. I would, because I don't like that kind of mindset. I don't know. That one group has these advantages over another. I don't know, this wall review's turning into me talking about some pretty heavy shit I probably shouldn't talk about. Oh my god, he wrote a person you hate. Oh my god. Look, around my head, person you hate. That's what the movie was doing. Person you hate. See how simplistic that was? It's like, no, he's not just a person you hate. He's a symbol. He represents an idea of something that's very damaging and that could exist in society. You know, like, I don't know, like Hitler. You know, I don't know if you picked up on that, Doug, that these people are real. It's not as simple as person you hate. Yeah, is Doug Walker not gonna get? Is he gonna get accused of being a Nazi like PewDiePie? Is H-Bomber guy gonna make a video on him and call him a Nazi? H-Bomber fuck, one of the most manipulative piece of shit YouTubers out there. Is he gonna fucking lie and be like, "Hey, look, Doug Walker's a Nazi"? Because it's clearly imagery you could compare to the Nazis. But no, it's parody. It's okay. But when PewDiePie does it, he's a Nazi. Wiggers ruin everything. Hey, you leave us Wiggers alone, alright? We've been oppressed long enough, alright? I'm not taking that shit. Don't use that pejorative.
Oh yeah, I'm the person you all think you know. That soaks up your angst and confusion. I'm that nameless foe. I got some weird news for you, sunshine. This was
God, this cut to them on the computers reacting is fucking... What a horrible choice. Like, I get it. They're all on the internet watching the video. They're all on their screens watching stuff and watching a figure. Once again, this could have been a commentary on the stuff I'm talking about with this culture online, but it's just he doesn't want to go full on with it. He doesn't want to be edgy and actually make a statement here and do something bold. He's still trying to play this within parody and mock the movie and mock fans of the movie, so it just doesn't... No, never mind. This is a love letter.
dissing Thatcher's administration. But it's vague enough to put anyone you fear. Politician, showman, just put their face here.
It's vague enough to make anyone you put it... Yes, that's called empathy. That's called being able to project and put things into the art and the person. That's the idea. It represents authoritarianism in all forms, fascism in all forms, not just in one that you want to see, but all figures. Yeah, that's the fucking idea, Doug. It's not being vague. That was very clearly the intention. They're not being vague for the sake of, like, it could just be anyone you hate. It's like, no, it's a very specific kind of person and movement you can hate. That's why they bring up shooting gay people and Jewish people and so on. It's not just, you know, I hate employees at Kinko's. I don't imagine it being a guy who works at Kinko's or GameStop employees who I fucking hate, or those Geek Squad guys at Best Buy. I don't see them in this when I watch that fucking movie.
Are there any authority figures in the crowd tonight?
Oh, yes, that's me after everything. Yes.
We'll put them in the wall! That one's looking stressed. He wants to feel impressed. Put him in the wall! And that one looks sheltered, like she never leaves a room.
You know, at least he's trying somewhat with the moments here where he's talking. The cuts to everyone on the computer, they're fucking awful. But at least he's trying here. I'd say, visually, this is probably the best stretch of the video, like, from a visual standpoint, because at least he's on a set and he's involved with the things going on. I mean, it's still bad, but it's not as much of a visual trash as the first, like, 20 minutes. This at least looks like a video.
You can flame for all your gloom.
Like, I can understand what's going on. I understand that people are watching this on screens and the screens are watching him and back and forth. At least I can understand that.
That one looks like he really wants to be outraged. Now with social media, you have the stage.
Ah, there's his commentary, so he does talk about it. Now with social media, you have the stage. See, once again, this is an interesting idea. Like, I'm not going to totally shit on this. This idea Doug has here to comment on this through the internet, but applying that from what was in the movie, that is the right way to go with this. It's just he's so bad at everything else that gets lost in the shuffle. But that actually isn't a bad idea on paper to do that as a parody.
Hashtag!
Oh my god. Oh my god, no.
Hashtag!
No.
Hashtag!
Oh. Hashtag. Why can none of them act? You know, you could just look at Doug here. You could tell that he thinks he's fucking brilliant. This is a face of a man who thinks he's a goddamn genius right now. Like, I'm acting my ass off and this is my masterpiece. This is my best review. Look at him, he's so fucking happy. He thinks this is powerful. Don't let him fool you. He's not trying to be funny. He thinks this is actually, like, really powerful stuff.
All right, everyone, let's take our 100% correct opinions to the world! Oh, son! Oh, so bright! Oh, let's go back in. I don't like that. No.
What a funny joke. They don't like the sun.
1, 2, 3, post it!
Goodbye, new ones, I will never abide. I don't know what the lyric was. I heard the abide. What was the first lyric?
It's us versus them. I don't even know who us or them are. I just want to be angry so I can be about those who hate me. I need their attention.
You know, I will say, I mean, this isn't good, but this at least makes sense. Like the parody here of how he's applying the scene in the movie to the internet. At least he's doing that. You know?
Love me or hate me, just look at me more. Whatever side you choose, just don't ever wane. Waiting for the point.
Don't fear that you're wrong. Just fight on to the end. My
Don't worry that you're wrong. Just fight until the end, my friend. I like he's trying to do the hammer with the smartphones. It's the hammers walking. He's trying to do it with the phones and make that a clever visual. At least he's attempting something with this.
All you need to do is...
Like, I will say, this actually makes more sense than a lot of the other stuff in the review. Like, I know you guys are like, what, you're being positive? It's like, I'm not necessarily being positive. It's just, this at least makes sense. Like, I can follow what's going on right now.
Fight off something.
the thing is, everyone's already made this assessment and commentary about the internet. This is like old as shit. Like, he's not saying anything we haven't all said.
Good! The more extreme you can get, the more happy you'll become! They'll put that person whose face you hate here and tweet, 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 tweet!
No, you're correct about that, that it really doesn't connect with the movie. I agree. What the fuck? What's with this, like, demon what's with the Satan character from the 90s Spawn movie being in this?
Spawn, give me your soul. Duck Walker, your reviews are horrible. Fuck you.
Oh, cool. Corey Taylor. Oh, cool. David Bowie. Remember when he, like, raped a 13-year-old girl? Yeah. Yeah, that happened. Him and his wife fucked a 13-year-old girl in the 70s who was a virgin.
You know, I got places to go.
Man, what's with this? Chubby brunette chick. Chubby brunette chick. Chubby brunette chick. They all look the fucking same? Like, what? I'm not trying to be like, once again, I'm not trying to be a pig here, but it's like, I don't know, Doug. What happened to that blonde girl with the big boobs? Where's she at? These chicks are all like Lindsay Ellis if she ate a lot more hot dogs. Doug really should respond to this and be like, I fucked up, but I feel like he's gonna try to defend himself. Like when he did the Bart review, the Let's Play, and he's like, hey, I made a bad video. That was one of his best moments. Like, hey, I fucked up and made a bad video. Did they say you're not Oscar bound? What did they just say? Yeah, Doug has a type, chicks with diabetes.
So, Corey.
Ah, we've come to the ending. We've come to this beautiful moment where nostalgia critic Jesus must meet Corey Taylor and discuss The Wall. We're finally getting to the whole point of this thing.
Your
Thank God.
analysis of Pink Floyd, The Wall, has led you here. Do you now understand the deeper meaning of...
What analysis? There was no establishment of him having an analysis of the movie.
Do you understand the deeper meaning of what it has to say, or...
Oh, one of those jokes where a cell phone's ringing. So clever.
Or is it just a misguide?
You just lack wit. This whole thing lacks wit. That's the biggest issue here. Is that Doug as a writer or performer just lacks like comedic chops or look, he's in his little studio here with the posters to his videos. This is the most this is so fucking pretentious.
Ego trip in this self-indulgent world that we all live in. Pardon. Who is it?
Hello there, Critic.
It's Sullivan Croft.
I only get 2 days off a week, and I'm spending half of the one today I have off watching this goddamn thing.
Satellite City guy?
Yes, actually.
What the fuck? What is going on with this? What is this visual with it? Am I confused? What's with this, like, Pikachu squirrel creature?
Is Lucy Lacemaker there? Is she there? Because I was, well, it's just a thing of, shut the fuck up.
What do you mean is she there? She's a made-up character.
This is so weird. Oh, he's showing his YouTube plaque. Look.
I mean...
You're not exactly giving
1 million subscribers
creation all of its credit. It's not like you just shit out the Horcrux that Voldemort never meant to make.
And that's it, you know, there's a little more to it than that. When you make a character
That looks real and feels real, well... the line tends to blur, you know?
if you see it, just don't say anything stupid. Good luck, mate.
Oh, that's that weird
The lion tends to blow?
creature I've seen looming around.
Yes. And when I heard you were reviewing the much-to-be desired
Oh my
wall,
god,
I figured I'd
what
throw
the
my own tuppence. Style over substance, showcasing a bunch of weird creatures.
This isn't style, though. This is horrifying. It's like, hey, it's YouTube, it doesn't have to look good. Like, this is not style, this is a really horrible visual effect that's horribly designed and creepy and makes me very uncomfortable. You should have just done a horror review with these things. What the fuck? This is so creepy.
And worlds, not a drop of intellectual development. All paint, no ink.
But you are a weird creature. I thought you'd be all over this.
Music is one thing, film is quite another. The beauty of music is letting your mind steal itself. The beauty of cinema is taking those raw, maddening ideas and developing them. It's easy to think of a nonsensical idea. Fucking children do it. It's hard to turn those ideas into thinking, feeling characters and worlds. And isn't that the point of a cinematic adaptation? To make a...
So he's using these crazy visual creatures to represent the movie and the ideas presented in the film. I don't quite get what he's saying here.
Point. Well, it's clear that the music here does that fine on its own.
Doug, was this the way to present this with some weird, like, CGI monster creatures? Was that the way to get the point across, what you're trying to say here?
Going to adapt an album into a movie, a completely different medium, I dare say. One should adapt it.
Oh, so being a fully developed character, you wanted more fully developed characters.
Whether I'm developed or not is down to the viewer, old son. But this film you have here, it fails to truly connect us to those amazing creatures and visuals. A world does indeed exist, and it lies between the monsters and the emotion, dreams and reality, anarchy and order. Make us feel for the world, make us connect to it, so we too can suffer with pink.
The visuals are usually praised as the best part. You think you can make a case that the weird characters needed more development?
Each one represented something deep and meaningful. Fantastic designs and presence. Wouldn't you want more of them? Let me show you. Let me show you what happens when your dreams no longer need you.
I don't know what's going on. I really have no fucking idea what's going on right now. I am so confused and weirded out and uncomfortable and tired and just not... I mean, I have nothing to say to this. I don't know what this fucking giant rat creature talking to Doug about dreams and all that shit has to do with the fucking movie. Can't you just sit in your chair at the end and talk about the movie?
Right then, Lucy Lacemaker, the court will take a vote on if the film that plays before us can in any way show some feelings.
You know what sucks is that this isn't a horrible special effect for YouTube standards. Like, some of this stuff looks pretty good, the lighting here and all that, but, like, it's just the way he's using it that's wrong. This could have been an original video with original music and use this for visual presentation. That's been...
Worthy feelings of an almost canny nature, from joys to blue.
At least this person can sing.
I always said I liked how well made Kitty. I
What
will
the
not
fuck?
suffer
Is this James and the Giant Peach?
shitty. Those that bring forth naught but pity for
That's just the guy from James and the Giant Peach.
a lack of wit and mind. But here we rather find the result of heart and artist. I say the music here is joyous, but with that we have to say.
What?
Lazy, left in the attic, we're not crazy, constantly dreaming. Our
just wish they'd give us some more time to live.
Constantly at it, being lazy.
What the fuck is Guys, I submit to Doug. He's too brilliant for me. I can't. Are you saying that Pink Floyd and the work in the movie is lazy? Like, what is this? Yeah, I don't know. I guess so. This is challenging my perception of the world around me, so I guess this is a powerful piece of art. I've done acid, and it's not this painful. It's actually a pretty enjoyable experience. Yeah, this is some weird fetishistic shit. I think that's a good point. All this happened because people liked his Moulin Rouge and Les Miserables reviews and starting to believing his own hype. Yeah, but did he forget that that was just people singing and dancing in, like, rooms and stuff like that? And he still talked about the movie for the most part? The songs were reviewing the movie? It's a love letter to the wall. Well, it's about family, and that's what's so great about it. I just want this to be over. We only have 6 minutes left, and I just can't. This has just been an endurance test, really. That's what this whole stream has been. You know, Cordery, we were supposed to do our thing today. I guess you're sleeping. I just gotta say, dude, if you watch this, fuck you. I love you, dude, but fuck you. Like, I'm a huge fan of you. I can't wait to talk to you about YouTube, but man, I sat through this because you didn't do this, and I had to make some kind of content. I was gonna do a Box Office Addict, but this is your fault. You owe me. You fucking owe me, dude. I swear to God. Oh my
Those
God.
little shits, they've done it now. We all deserve personality.
My fucking back hurts. My lower back hurts so bad. I have back issues because I have an injury with my pelvis. I have a pelvic tilt, and sitting in this chair so long watching this for 2 hours is just hurting my lower back. I want to go do some Supermans or some stretches to try and relieve my back pain. And I'm just sitting here with my back hurting watching this, and it won't end. It just feels so long. There's 6 minutes left, and it just feels like an hour. Like, I'm really suffering right now. I'm not being comedic right now. Like, I want this to be fucking over. Like, this is really starting to get on my fucking nerves. Like, I don't know what to do. I just want to sit through the rest of the video and finish it, but if I just play the video, then I'm just playing the video and I'm not doing a commentary or reacting to it. I'm just playing the video for you guys, so what's the fucking point? I don't know how to end this goddamn thing. I'm done with it. I'm fucking done. It's a mess. It's horrible. It's cringy. It's poorly made. It's fucking awful. I just can't fucking get through it. I can't fucking do this anymore. Like, it's not even funny and entertaining anymore. I don't know what the fuck to say. I just want it to be fucking over, man. Like, Doug, please.
Would have used us far more often than they did, but no, they had to go their own way. We are bored of Alice. We want the header. Just 5 minutes more, Your Honor. Them and us alone.
I didn't watch that full stream. I watched, like, the part where they're talking about Quit in that, like, 11-hour stream they did with Aiden. I didn't...
This film's not bound by characters, it's a visual affair. It never aimed to tell a story, rather a sprawling canvas of emotion, visual splendor. And Your Honor, we can take that home.
Maybe there's more to the picture, just maybe.
You know, I will say, I don't dislike these visuals. Like, the animator, that guy who does those visuals, he did a really good job with all this. It's just Doug standing in here, and at the context of the whole review, this is so odd, because so much of it looked like shit. And then this part actually does look visually very interesting. But it's like... Yeah, I'm just so tired and bored by this point. It's just like, it brings this whole thing down that this guy worked really hard on this stuff, and Doug didn't do him justice. Like, it's unfortunate how many people worked really hard on this video for it to come out the way it did. That's really, like, the thing that makes this hard to watch.
There's a difference between nonsense after all. Thought and creation.
Genius and nonsense and creation.
Did Doug not see how putting himself in this weird animation, this CGI stuff with him just standing around, like not interacting with the environment was just a fucking weird idea? Like, this whole video is so fucking bizarre, man. It's bizarre. It's like one of those shitty cult films you find that you watch with your friends and you try to be like, why did they make this movie? Like, this is the Meet the Applegates, or the dark backward of like fucking YouTube. Like, this is the stuff you go to some cinema to watch, and you can't tell people that you enjoy stuff like this. Like, is that it's just everything's been lost. Every point he was trying to make has just been lost right now by lack of coherence. The whole video lacks coherence.
The evidence before the court is incontrovertible. There's no need for the jury to retire.
And the lyrics are just a mess. The lyrics and the points they're trying to make in the lyrics are just a mess. The animators even revetted their review of shit. No, this is... I just want this to be over. I wonder what Doug told the animator. I'm going to turn and vaguely look at stuff, try to aim the face of the demon monkeys to look in my direction.
In all my years of judging, I have never seen before a film so deserving of both love and wanting more. The way it makes you tougher, makes you think and feel but suffer. Fills me with an urge to decapitate.
God, his interaction with the CGI creatures is horribly done.
I believe this film is apt with much to be revered. But the
This film is apt with much to be revered.
marvelous creatures should be adored as opposed to being feared. Tear down the wall.
I'm skipping ahead. I can't do this. I can't fucking do this, guys. I'm sorry. Oh, Doug's smashing through a wall.
Hey!
Yeah, Corey's all of us watching this review right now. Like, I just want to go the fuck to sleep. Oh, cool. Heath Ledger. So that's where he went. He's just on Corey Taylor's line.
Well. Bye.
Did he say, well, bat?
But that's it? We're stopping there?
Well, yeah, the movie did.
I didn't even get a line. Hell, I didn't even sing a song. What'd you even think of the movie?
Well,
Yeah, why didn't you have the guy as a professional singer sing a song? And he had to... Oh, I love Doug's being self-aware now. Like, yeah, I didn't really criticize and talk about the movie or let anyone sing. I just made this indulgent mess. It's like he's acknowledging it here at the end. And it's like, so what was the point, Doug? If you're trying to evoke the feeling of watching the movie, it's not like this. It's not like this watching the movie. Like, there's actually entertainment to the movie, and you can get into those sequences and enjoy it. Not get to the end of this and be like, thank God I'm at the fucking end. Like, that's how this feels. It's not the feeling of watching the movie and being like, just because you're self-aware now that you did this horrible fucking review doesn't forgive that you did it. It doesn't make it. It's not an excuse. Like, Corey Taylor should just take a shit on you right now.
The movie ended on such an open vagueness that it only makes sense that the review end on such an open vagueness.
But this isn't a review. It was just a shitty musical parody. You didn't review the movie.
It's a review! That's literally the opposite of what that is!
Okay! I liked it fine.
Yeah, me too.
A little full of itself, but good music and imagination.
Fair enough.
So now what?
Well...
So all for that, for him to say that he likes the movie okay, and it's a little full of itself, but he likes the music and the visuals. He had to make this whole thing instead of just reviewing the movie. Like, he could have actually just reviewed the fucking movie and used clips from it. It would have been a much better video. Instead of this horrible video he makes, then at the end here he's trying to save face.
Since you got me, figure I could sing you one of my biggest hits.
Oh, sweet. Corey Taylor's about to sing. Nice.
You mean? Oh, yeah. Oh, who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants! Orange and yellow and porous is he. SpongeBob!
Best part of the video. Easily.
SquarePants! Ethical nonsense be something you wish. SpongeBob SquarePants! Drop on the deck and flop like a fish. SpongeBob SquarePants! SpongeBob SquarePants! SpongeBob SquarePants! SpongeBob SquarePants! SpongeBob SquarePants!
Good?
I mean, it's not gonna top that.
Check out the album! Hey, Doug Walker here, and since Corey Taylor was so amazing to come out and shoot this review with us, we let him pick the charity shout out this week, and he decided to do Living the Dream Foundation. This is a non-profit foundation that helps children and young adults living.
You're kidding me, right? After I sat through this 40-minute abortion, I have to hear about a charity. Like, hey, let's do something good. Fuck your charity.
With life-threatening illnesses, stay positive, maintain hope, and appreciate each and every day, regardless of their affliction. They achieve this by providing rich and rewarding Dream Day experiences. Dream Days can include
I think watching this gave me a disease, and I need a Dream Day experience because you just put me through a fucking nightmare. Is that what you're trying to say? Like, what the fuck? He's trying to do some moral bullshit now with the charity thing after making that. I mean, this just makes me feel weird and uncomfortable that he's doing this
meet
at the
and
end.
greets with their heroes,
It doesn't
VIP
feel
access
right.
to concerts and special events, hanging out behind the scenes, hospital visits, surprise gifts, and most importantly, lasting memories that they and their families will treasure forever. They work hand in hand with the music, sports, entertainment, and social media industries to create unique and impactful experiences for their guests.
There's a lot of great romance movies, especially in anime. Whisper of the Heart, that recent film that came out. What's the fucking name of that movie? That one that was a huge hit in Japan. I did a review of it. I can't remember the name of it right now. The one where it's a time travel story, and the girl gets killed by the comet, and then he goes back in time, and they switch bodies. That's a really good romantic animated film. There's actually, yeah, and Little Mermaid, I guess. I don't know. I mean, Your Name. Yeah, Your Name's a really good one. But for me, yeah, Your Name I really liked. Whisper of the Heart, though. I like how everyone writes your name, not knowing that they're not aware that everyone else is going to write it first. Yes, the King of Comedy was very ahead of its time. So much so that they're ripping it off in the new Joker movie. Please don't hate on my video too much. It's for children. What kind of monster hates on children? That does feel that way. Like he's using this to excuse what he's done.
Living the dream each day. Click on the link and see how you can help someone live their dream.
No, thank you. Are we done? My God. We'll read some comments before we wrap this up. If this is a love letter to the wall, then these comments are love letters to Nostalgia Critic. Can he remember this one so we don't fucking have to? This film's not bound by characters, it's a visual affair. Yes, it's a fucking art film. The story is told through visuals and the music. The characters and the monsters, scary monsters have no characters because they're visual allegories. Bro, you just posted cringe. You're gonna lose subscribers now. This was one of the worst things I've ever heard or seen. Complains about lack of meaning. Reads a Jesus metaphor when one was not made. Slow song equals boring pretentious. Oh yeah, I already read that one earlier. Is this intentionally bad? Are you trying to commit channel suicide and make some money from ads before you go? This is what eventually happens when YouTube channels that don't die when they're meant to. What a mess. Roger Water went to school in the 1950s England, back when teachers were allowed to ridicule, humiliate, and beat their students. Context is everything. Yes, watch the movie If by Lindsay Anderson. I believe the filmmaker's name. Also made some other films with Malcolm McDowell. Very much captures what Roger Waters went through. Where yes, you could get punished. There's a scene where he gets paddled, him and another student. That's very, very powerful. And as somebody who grew up in Texas and was paddled as a kid, in school, I relate to it very much. Bring the runtime down, says the guy who makes a 3.5 hour long movie. Yeah, exactly. To boldly flee. Song released in 1979. Movie released in 1981. The song is Oscar bait. Yeah, I love that he says that Goodbye Blue Sky's an Oscar bait song, even though it was on an album that came out in the late 70s. They didn't think it was going to win an Oscar. It wouldn't be eligible for an Oscar. An entire song to dedicate to just mocking. Checks note. Children's worldview? Glad to see people are starting to see why Nostalgia Critic sucks. The movie is so egotistical and self-indulgent, said a man who made to boldly flee. Critic, you are out of your element. This is literally making me sick to my stomach. The ability to speak does not make you intelligent. That's a good point. The second-hand embarrassment from this might just kill me. Doug, don't review music if you don't understand it. Imagine actually making this and releasing it thinking it's actually good. This is fucking terrifying. I'm not even a fan of Pink Floyd, and the notion that they wrote Oscar bait songs is monumentally stupid. Yeah, that's the thing. The premise doesn't work. It was like a recent Trevor Noah joke where he was talking about Justin Trudeau in 2001. Because I think jokes have to make sense. They have to have their own context that makes sense. And he did this joke about Trudeau, and he's like, you know, you go as Aladdin, but you're in an Arabian outfit. You don't need the makeup. But he's like, what, are you the snowman from Frozen? But that happened in 2001 before Frozen came out, so that joke doesn't actually make any sense. It's stuff like that. Like, a lot of Doug's comments in here don't actually make any sense. Bring the runtime down. 95 minutes is apparently too long for the guy who made a 3.5 hour. Everyone's going to keep going on that. Hey, Nostalgia Critic, what are your thoughts on the wall? Nostalgia Critic, buy honey. I like to believe that Doug accidentally broke the wall that protected him from criticism, and now people can see how shitty his reviews have become. Yeah, I see. Here's the thing, you know. Here's the fucking thing, guys. Like, Doug Walker's reviews have been fucking awful for years. They've been this bad for years. His Mad Max Fury Road review is fucking awful. He's been doing shit like this forever. This just became popular because it takes it to another level of terrible. Yes, I'm going to watch Gandhi Tartakovsky's new show Primal, because I'm a big fan of him, as you all know. This is just another horrible Nostalgia Critic review. It's just this one's getting traction like his other horrible reviews should have gotten over the last few years. He's just fucking... It's turned into this cringy visual vomit, poor jokes, bad performances, bad set pieces, all of that. This has all been happening for years. It's just now people are becoming aware of it, and it's no longer cool, and he's not going to get away with it anymore. That's the thing. There was no laughs in this video. None of it was funny. There was no moments of visual wonder. It was all very mind-numbing. It was a chore to set through this, and I feel that way about Nostalgia Critic for years. He's been unfunny. He's been doing bad visual storytelling for years now, and it's embarrassing to watch his videos. It's just now everyone's caught on, and everyone feels that way. I don't know how he bounces back from this entirely. I feel like his audience that likes some of his reviews are still going to watch, but he has to talk about this. If he doesn't, it really is like YouTube suicide. He has to bring up, yeah, this wasn't funny. Yeah, they were easier to set through. It used to be easy to watch a 15-minute Nostalgia Critic video. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Basically, his stuff's been shit for years, and now it's becoming popular to finally point that the fuck out, even though it should have been popular a while ago. And now we're all, yeah, it's all been bad. So, that's where we're at. It's all been bad, and now everyone's aware of it, and now everyone's making fun of it because it's the popular thing to do. I'm even victim of this. Because I'm talking about the video and doing a live stream of it and its indulgence and all of that stuff. I'm a victim of it too. It's just created this culture. Maybe that was Doug's reaction. Maybe that's what Doug wanted. Although I don't think he's that smart. This is one of the worst YouTube videos I've ever seen. It really is. It's one of the worst YouTube, and it's the worst movie review I've ever seen. Because at some point, it just stops being a review and turns into a horrible art film made by a very untalented and crazy, a guy who completely doesn't understand things, filmmaker, artist, what have you, whatever the fuck you want to call Doug Walker. This is a low point for where we are with YouTube content, and it hurts deeper than a lot of other things should. A lot of bad content, bad videos get made all the time. That happens all the time. But when iDubbbz made The Full Force, it really showed that, because I talked about iDubbbz being a documentary filmmaker for a while. What he showed with that is that YouTube can turn into its own art form. He went and did a film basically about cringe and covering Fatty and his friends, and found this story and made this documentary kind of using stuff that he had developed over Kickstarter crap and Content Cop. And it showed that there is a new art form on YouTube, that interactive media and documentaries on YouTube and the stories that you can find on YouTube. There's an evolution happening with it. And he ultimately found some beautiful look at cringe. Like, cringe is just people willing to be themselves. But this is on the other side of the spectrum, where somebody thinks... Just think about when iDubbbz made Full Force. He just went and filmed some guys, with great editing, but filmed them out where they lived. He just filmed them walking around, hitting each other with lightsabers and all that. And this is... Well, I hate everything's just fucking boring and never makes good points, and it's just one of the most overrated, boring channels. But this is... This is the other spectrum where it's like, yeah, channel's been around too long. He's trying to get more ambitious. He's trying to make more content. He's trying to extend himself as a content creator, and it just shows you all the negative sides of internet content and where YouTube's going and the medium itself. This is on the other side of the spectrum, where this isn't somebody looking at cringe and finding a humanist take on it. This is actual cringe. From somebody not realizing that they're a cringe lord and just hurting all of us in the process and making a bad stance for what we're trying to do on this platform. So I don't know. I thought I would have more to say at the end of this, but I'm just so exhausted. Basically, The Wall as a movie is fine. The album's amazing. Doug Walker can't sing. The visuals here were fucking horrible, and none of the ideas or parody or any of that stuff comes across. And it ends up just being... He might have had a decent idea in there with Corey Taylor thinking about the movie and him and the critic having a clashing of ideas, but the way to structure that would have been to actually do, Corey Taylor talking about the movie versus Doug talking about the movie, a negative and positive, and maybe them even having a battle of music about the different of the different perspectives about people who love the movie and people who hate the movie. But Doug didn't find a simple narrative or visual idea to stick with. He tried to cram everything into this, which is, I think, what he thinks the movie's doing, but it's really not. He's trying to cram everything into this, and because of that, it becomes one of the most painful experiences. He's really made a video that's worse than a lot of the movies he shit on in the early days that don't hold up when you become an adult. He's made a film that horrible Or I guess you could call it a film. He's made something that bad. Yeah, I would like to do October. I would like to do some Halloween oriented stuff. That is my plan. We were thinking about going out and doing some paranormal investigation stuff for fun, me and Sharkfoot, and I would like to review some horror films. The worst part was definitely the first 15 minutes. The first 15 minutes was fucking hard to set through. Everything, the way it was paced and going on. The best part was somewhere in the middle. And then in the end, it becomes meaningless and nothing. But the best part was at the middle. The hashtag sequence is probably the best part of the whole review. Not saying it's good. That's just better than the other shit that's in there. And the worst part is the whole first 10 minutes getting into it. This is just a lesson to artists out there and reviewers. Don't try to make stuff like this if you don't have the capability to pull it off. Don't try to talk about something as enormous as Pink Floyd in the Wall if you yourself can't bring something to it. Then you're really in a place where you make no one ever want to listen to you again, and people can't take you seriously. And I think Doug wants people to take him seriously, and that's been one of his biggest drawbacks for a long time. All right, so before we wrap this up, do you guys have any questions? Because I probably won't be doing another Please Rewind live for a little while here. And thank you to everyone who sat through this with me. If I didn't have you guys here, if I'd just been watching this by myself, this just would have been unbearable. I really feel like part of me died today. I really do. He's made a few bad movies worse than movies he's reviewed. Even The Room was better. They were even treated better behind the scenes. Yeah. Yeah, it's all very true. Just, god damn it. God damn it, this was bad. I used to be a cynical edgelord, but after getting into anime and getting changed by it to love positive and cute stuff, I have just come to love the world more. I feel even some of the less PC critics have become overly sensitive about stuff like Last Blood. What do you think? Yeah, I think people are becoming very sensitive towards content right now. And I don't like this whole self-reflection on violence in art that's going on. Even I'm reading Scorsese does so in The Irishman. What movie's perfect balance of art and commercial success? Stanley Kubrick films. Stuff like, you know, Doctor Strangelove and A Clockwork Orange, stuff like that, I would say, are a good example of that. Full Metal Jacket. Financially successful films that are also have a lot to say about are human beings good or bad, and our place in this world, and what you stand for. That's an obvious one. I mean, there's, I don't know, stuff like Memento, but I guess even more so like Dunkirk. I mean, it just pick your poison, I guess. Pick pick whatever you want, like Alien, you know, Jaws, a successful movie that also has artistic merit. There's a lot of them. I like Metropolis, the animated film, yes. It's amazing how far of a lot of reviewers have fallen. Yes, they have, because, well, the problem is they forgot that they just need to review movies. They're trying to be something more than a film critic, which is what a lot of film critics are. They're failed artists, but YouTube provides them a platform to actually try and make content, so we're just getting a bunch of failed artists who feel like they can criticize art, but then they can't actually make anything of merit their own, and that's the problem. Yes, Cordery FX is the guest for Please Rewind Live whenever me and him can arrange it. Maybe even tomorrow. If he could do it tomorrow, Please Rewind episode 3 tomorrow, I'll do it, but we're probably going to have to wait another week. Yeah, It Chapter 2 was 3 hours. It still didn't feel as long as this fucking video. Oh, fuck you, Gladiator. Come the fuck on. Jesus fuck. Gladiator is very much just a commercial blockbuster. It is not an artsy film at all, and Ridley Scott's not even trying to make it as such. That's like saying Braveheart has artistic merit while also being a commercially successful film. It's just a commercial feature. That's all it is. It's a commercial action blockbuster. When will we see Please Rewind the musical, where we see animated Pat's Day at the video store and the various trials? There might be a Please Rewind comic book or animated thing in the future. That is kind of the premise I'm eventually building to. I'm even thinking about it as a stage show, where I'm Pat and I'm in a video store and it's a monologue and people come and interact with me, and it's sort of like a Spalding Gray sort of thing. What about Batman 89? Would you say the only great Hollywood directors left are Nolan, Quentin Tarantino, Phil Lord? No, I would say David Fincher is a great Hollywood director. I think there's a few of them. Scorsese still making movies that I like. Steven Soderbergh still makes movies. Cary Fukunaga, I'm a big fan of. Denis Villeneuve. Of course, I'd rather watch Excalibur. Excalibur's a great movie. I love Arachnophobia. Great flick. Frank Marshall worked with Spielberg in all his movies, and great, really good movie. It's one of those like Spielberg influenced films on the side. It's like a Gremlins. Bye, Bathory. Thank you for setting through this with me. I miss you, and I hope to see you more often, my old friend. Personally, I only love Prisoners from Villeneuve, and I think the rest of his movies are really flawed. I think Prisoners is really flawed, too, actually. I think all of his movies are flawed. I agree with that. But they have so much good stuff in them. Tremors is amazing. Tremors is a classic at this point. Does The Last Samurai have artistic merit? Yes. Have you ever seen Falling Along with Hickman X-Men? I think it's overrated, but what do you think? Oh, have I been reading? No, I haven't been reading the Hickman X-Men. It was horrible. Yes, Joro. Yeah, Ava DuVernay. Yeah, she's... Yeah. Yes, I did see the uncut gem trailers from the Safdie brothers, and I'm pretty confident that's going to be my favorite movie of the year. I would put money down at this point. My favorite movie of the year is going to be Uncut Gems. Especially since Good Time was my favorite movie over the last few years. Yeah, I think Villeneuve's a good choice for Dune. I think he's probably the appropriate choice at this point. If you're going to make a Dune movie today, it's either like him or David Fincher. Although I always feel like he's like a second, like he's like got the visual of David Fincher, but he's not as clever as David Fincher. Ava Diversity Ghost wrote the Ray Force scene in TFA's lightsaber duel. Yes, she did. Yeah, I love Good Time. I like the Safdie brothers in general. There's a great episode of the Criterion Closet Picks where they go in and they're just wonderful. I wish I had a brother like that I could talk to about films like that. Saw Badlands recently. The stuff Martin Sheen does with his eyes is Badland is next level shit. I agree. Yeah, it's a visual tone poem, and you really get into their heads more than you do in other Terrence Malick films because of the voiceover. It's really powerful movie. I feel the Dune miniseries was the best route to go. Yeah, unfortunately, the special effects and acting in the first Dune miniseries is pretty shitty. I do like Children of Dune with James McAvoy, though. I think it was much, much better. And actually pretty powerful. Alright, guys. Well, rewinders. I guess that's what you guys are now. You're my rewinders. Thank you for setting through Doug Walker's The Wall with me. I apologize if you had to. I hope it was entertaining. I hope you guys had a good time. I didn't have a good time, but I hope you guys did. I made $5, so I got paid $5 to watch this. Now everyone wonders why I don't make more content. Well, the original cut's always going to be the best one, but you should just go see Apocalypse Now in the theater to go see it. I mean, that would be my argument. Just go see Apocalypse Now in the theater, because it's Apocalypse fucking Now. I miss you guys. I don't want you to think I don't do live streams because I don't want to hang out with you guys. You know, what did you think of the wall sequence? Which sequence are you referring to? I don't want you guys to think I don't want to hang out with you guys or make videos. It's I do. I like rewinders too. That's going to be the fan base now. Your rewinders. No, Last Samurai was never considered as a top 5 Tom Cruise for me. I do feel a little iffy about not doing Rain Man, and I'm struggling with that, or A Few Good Men. And somebody pointed out I didn't mention All the Right Moves, which is a movie I like, but Last Samurai is definitely not top tier Cruise. I'm not, and I like The Last Samurai. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not like top 5 Cruise movies. I thought it was the best part of the video. That doesn't mean it was good, but I thought it was the only time that something made somewhat sense in most of the video. When I hear The Trial, I just think of the Orson Welles movie of I believe it's Kafka. Box Office Addict. You guys want some more of that? Collateral was my number 5 choice in my best Tom Cruise movies. Thanks for putting this on, Pat, but it was nice enjoying your content. I love you guys, though. I love you, Rewinders, and the guys, you stick around. I know a lot of you lose my channel and then find it again. I see that all the time, and I hope we can keep finding each other because I don't want to lose you guys. And I know people grow apart and things change, and you have to be okay with that, and that's part of getting older, but I like what we have. I like this marriage that we have, and I want you guys to know that yes, you will get a Box Office Addict for Joker. I only do BOA now when it's a big movie. That's my rule with it. Yeah, I get why people wouldn't like Top Gun because it's such a definitive role, but part of that list was it was very specific to how I feel about Tom Cruise. It was made by a Tom Cruise fan trying to present what makes him love Tom Cruise. It wasn't made to be... That would have been a Watch Mojo video, cliche, like, let's pick top 5 Tom Cruise movies, and people would have said Mission Impossible and Top Gun and all those movies. I didn't go that route. I do feel weird not putting the Mission Impossible franchise as number 1. Just the whole franchise. That part bothers me. But I feel like Tom Cruise was already so defined before Mission Impossible, you can't really count it. I feel like he was already Tom Cruise when that came out. Ralph the Movie Maker thought it was I mean, it is a little creepy that he's dating a 17-year-old in Manhattan. But the thing is, if you watch the movie, his friends are giving him shit the whole time that he's dating a 17-year-old. That's part of the movie, is they're like, dude, what's wrong with you? And I actually think it's becomes one of his more personal aspects because he does like younger women. And I think it's realistic in a sense, and it just ties into another thread of the movie that's so beautiful. Is he's trying to attach himself to this youth to fight the fact that he's kind of a piece of shit and put himself in this precarious situation. And that ending is just so magnificent because it's like he can't be accepted, even though he wants to be. He wants to be as mythical and as large and as bold as the city that defines him. He wants things to be black and white. He wants this control, and then he can't have it. He can't manipulate this girl, and he just kind of looks at us like with this, what the fuck am I? What's even going on? It might be a live stream Box Office ad coming up. I'm not gonna roll it out. Oh, Joker's gonna have a huge opening. I think Joker's gonna open to like 65 million, if not more. I mean, the Joker's never bombed in any movie. Joker's like a pretty consistent success, starting with Batman, the show, to 89 to the animated series. Yeah, I didn't think Manhattan endorsed it at all. I didn't think it was saying that this was right. I never got that from Manhattan. I always felt that it was supposed to be kind of creepy. But yeah, I just want you guys to know that I miss you guys and I care about you guys, and as shitty as my life might get sometimes or where I'm at, I always feel like, something that I do, something that I have inside matters, because clearly you guys respond to it, and that's enough. I don't need more than that. I don't need more than that to be happy. This is enough. Yeah, I guess I could do videos like that. I don't know. Should I go with level 3A or level 4 body armor for the Joker opening? That's fucking funny, dude. Good line. Alright, Rewinders. I will see you for Please Rewind Live 3. More content is coming. Mainly the issue is I just don't have any video essays right now, and I don't have any movies to review. I just don't have anything to talk about. That's why it's only been one video every Friday. That's where we're at. And my work has been very difficult lately, but you guys, yeah, you guys are like my family. I mean, really, at the end of the day, we are kind of like a fucked up family. We're all dreamers. So let's keep living the dream together, right? I don't want to wake up from it, and I don't think you guys either do either. So let's keep going as long as we can until I do my own video that's as bad as this. Well, thank you, Joe-Ro. And, you know, I don't like shitting on other content creators. I don't like ripping Doug a new asshole. Or the asshole eyes of the characters in this video, but it's just someone like him has made so much money and been so successful and defined so much in a field that I play in, and to see him do something like this, and to just think about all of the people he's hurt and all of the money he's made and the way that he's just, I think, in a bad way affected our culture. I think I could say this without any sort of irony or for humor. I hate Doug Walker. I hate everything about him. And I hope his channel completely fails, because I think it's been coming, it's a long time coming that people finally get fucking savvy to this guy and need to shun this motherfucker, because he's bad for culture. He's bad for YouTube. And I don't want him to exist anymore. I really do. I'm not trying to deplatform or cancel Doug Walker, but I'm glad everyone's being so negative, because he deserves this. I don't believe in karma, but if it did exist, this was the way it should have. This should have happened a long time ago. And I'm ready to live in a post Doug Walker YouTube. Go the fuck away. Get the fuck off this platform, and please never make any fucking thing ever again. Please, never make another goddamn video. You canceled Nostalgia Critic before because you tried to do other things, and you failed at it. You're a fucking failure. And then you lean on this character you've had for years, and now you can't even do that right anymore. And every time you try to do something more than that, it just blows up in your face. Stop it. Either do 15-minute long reviews like you used to do, or just stop making content in general, and just do it for the betterment of mankind. You've made your fucking money. You've made your money, alright, with all the people that you fucked over along the way. Just take your money, go home with your fat wife, and just live the rest of your life, please. Otherwise, I don't know, just... He's just awful. He's not just an awful content creator, he's kind of just an awful person. And, like I said, I hate him. So, I'll just draw the line in the sand there. Fuck you, Doug Walker. Fuck you. But after all, it's just another brick in the wall.